Welcome in. Bro is indeed streaming. Crazy, right? Alright, I do this every time because I always forget how to stream because I don't do it for months on end, but what is up? I do it right? Yo. Yeah, the stream is real. It's not fake. It's not me just randomly putting cards on the table. But yo, what's up? I do have YouTube live as well, so it's not a fake stream. Let me move my stuff. There we go. Alright. Oh my god. I originally wasn't going to stream, and then I was like, nah, we're gonna stream, boys. So here we are. We're out here. You lost access to your old room spec? Yeah, I noticed. So Twitch tells me, yo, what's up? Are we gonna drink water already? We just started. It's water. Anyway, let me know if any of the audio is kind of weird because I always do this thing where I do this way too, I do this too rarely. So just let me know if anything acts weird. Water is crazy. Yo, what's up? Hi, welcome in, Sage. Stream is real. What's up, Valkyrie? Welcome in as well. Bro, you guys are like really hyping. Twitch is going kind of crazy over here. Yo, what's up? Oh, thank you, stream real. I know. Also, thank you for the follow earlier. Thank you so much. Bro, I'm just moving stuff over so I can come back and say that. Thank you, Fuzzy, for the resub. 31 months is crazy. The fact that you've still been subbed even post me not being active is insane. You got points to spare? That's true. The stream is real, but also thank you, Valkyrie, for following me as well. Welcome in. Fake orange curly. I'm not fake. I'm trying to keep up with both chats. No, I'm not a fake. Speaking of curly, I actually have your tier list up. I know it's crazy. You would never see that coming, but hey, oh, there it is. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. But more hydration. More hydration is usually pretty good. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Anyway, how are you guys doing today on a Monday? It is a Labor Day. Hope you guys are laboring it up. I don't follow holidays like I used to, so I don't know what people do on Labor Day, but I hope you're having a good day on Labor Day. My brothers and sisters, we are real. We are so real. We're so out here today. What are we even doing today? Happy to join the Peel Squad. Oh, welcome in. Yeah, welcome to the Peel Squad. Welcome to the cool side. Actually, every side in Vanguard is a cool side, right? Is that the Beyblade Extraordinaire Orange? Yo. Cardfighter 159. I got a stadium yesterday. Officially. I'm official. I have a freaking stadium, bro. I'm stadium pilled. Yeah, it is the world famous. Okay. Real talk. I got it because my sister was here. Because we did this thing where we hung out like all day. So sister and I hanging out all day, and then I'm like, okay, we've done so you did a Russian redemption? My brothers and sisters, we are real. Мои браты и сестра, мы настоящие. There you go. Sorry, I didn't see it there. But anyway, so me and my sister were hanging out. We were out for like 8 hours all day yesterday. And then like we're driving back and I'm like, bro, what am I gonna do with her once she's here? Like, yes, I have a PlayStation 5 and a Nintendo Switch and a PlayStation 1 and a PlayStation 2 and an Xbox and a PlayStation 3 and a computer and another computer back here. But that's besides the point. What am I gonna do with a 15-year-old in my house? So I was like, oh my gosh, my brain went explosive and I was like, I got it. Oh, welcome in. Rebrand the I do have a 360, yeah. Welcome in, thank you so much. You guys started a hype train, thank you, Dan. But anyway, my brain, like, I did a whole like Jimmy Neutron thing. I was like, I'm just gonna get a stadium. A stadium for what? Beyblade X, bro. That's what I did. And then you know what we did for like 2 hours? We were letting it rip, bro. It was, oh, that is a really weird gesture. Anyway, long story short, we let it rip and we were having fun with Beyblades, okay? That's that's what we did. It was great. Stop! Look! Stop! Stop with the dots, bro! I was trying to let it rip in. It's stream's over, guys. It's been real. Bye, guys. It's been real, but real talk. Anyway, we're back. Hi, welcome in, Zex. There's so many people in here. Is it just because everyone's off on? Stop with the dots! Is it because everyone's off on Labor Day? Is that why? I hate it here. I hate it here. Oh no. I'm slowly, like, mildly embarrassed. It's fine. I wasn't trying to do that either. Anyway, y'all. This is the kind of stream we're gonna have today. We're just gonna have a dot stream. Just a dot stream. Is this what it is? This is what it is? All because of Beyblade? You want any more comers? Any more? Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, I'm not making this any better. But anyway, TLDR, I showed my sister, that was not on purpose, but I showed my sister Beyblades, and she actually had a really good time. She was stuck. Bro, I'm never gonna take a Beyblade competition seriously anymore. I'm gonna be like, oh, a Beyblade burst, oh, let it rip, but it's actually an innuendo and something else. Anyway, but yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, Fuzzy's here. Yeah, Fuzzy's here. We have like 2 chats going on. Unfortunately, I can't, it's weird to show 2 chats on like a stream. Now, chat, Beyblade is a perfect detox after locals. It is a perfect detox after locals. Bro, on Saturday, we had Vanguard Day. I ain't gonna lie, me and, I won't say exactly who because those people are actually in here, but we were like playing and we weren't doing too hot, right? So we were like, you know, the pressure was there. The pressure was there. So eventually, around like 9:30 at night, we were like, let's just Beyblade. Let's just freaking Beyblade, let it rip, let's do it. And it was the greatest time ever. It was a really great way to get over like super random variants that Vanguard was providing. It was great. Beyblade Day, that should be a thing. Put both chats on the screen and have fight each other for supremacy. Bro, how do I could do that, but that would be very mean. But I could do it. That would be mean. Anyway. So today, chat, and YouTube chat, and Twitch chat, just all chats, all around. We don't discriminate on these parts. You should come to CA. We have Beyblade locals. I actually really want to go to California, but the prices are so insane. So the fun fact about California, I actually haven't spent my own money to fly to California in ever, because I just realized that every single time I've gone has either been through a friend shipping me out or has been me flying through a sponsor sort of thing. So TLDR, I've never actually went to California outside of that, and I found that out the other day when I tried to look up tickets, and I realized that it would cost me a lot of money to fly to California from where I'm located. So I was like, I guess I'm never going to Cali unless I'm sponsored, or I'm like, I don't know, a rich millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire giving out money for donations and also randomly traveling to California. That's just how that is. That would be my occupation. My occupation is I'm super rich. I give out donations to the people that need it, and then on top of that, I randomly fly to California. But yeah, anyway, I'm done being a weirdo. I missed you guys. I legitimately missed you guys. I just want to let that be known. That's why I decided to hit the button today. I was like, you know what, screw it, we're hitting the button. YouTube is the best chat. YouTube is the best chat. Also, welcome in Dragon Core from the YouTube end. Hope you're doing well. Also, hello Cartoon. Excited to spend another $200 on Deer Days. That's actually one of the reasons why I hit the chat button today. I did want to go over. You missed me. I missed you. I always miss you, Jalen. Oh, sorry, I said your real name. I always miss you. It's not his real name. His real name is actually Banana. But anyway, I missed you too. I missed a lot of y'all. Even though I just saw a card for the 159 literally the other day. I did actually. So I do want to go over Deer Days just a little bit because I have a lot to talk about. I have a lot to discuss today, but the top 3 topics today, number 1 is Deer Days, number 2 is the future meta, which is BCS, number 3 is Michu, yeah, because I want to talk about Michu because it's super I feel like it's a sleeper deck right now, and number 4 is I think it's tier list. I don't remember. We'll just go down the line, but I want to start with Deer Days because it was a big controversial topic actually on my Twitter. I was actually very surprised how much that popped off. I wasn't like super surprised. I was just also still surprised. I don't know why I get surprised about this stuff, but I just do. Number 5 is Cats. Michu is pretty sleeper. I've been seeing more people have been playing it, but I think like on release of Lyrical, there's been definitely more people that are like, Kyoka! 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 And I'm over here like, but what about the other Lyrical decks? Like some of them are actually really good. Ooh, Chad's is kind of in a funny spot. Let's fix that. There you go, Chad. There, I fixed you guys. It's okay. Anyway, going down. Oh yeah, I went to a museum yesterday. For those people that don't understand the context is I went to a museum with my sister, and it's a museum of illusions. It's actually really freaking cool. Let me show you guys this. Museum of Illusions. Sorry, I'm going off topic, which is like something I just normally do. So welcome to my stream for the first time. If you've ever been here, this is just what I do all the time. Anyway, so basically it's a museum where you just you just do like there's like a bunch of illusions like this, and it looks like this is like impossible to do, or it looks like really out there, but when you're actually physically there at the museum, you can actually see the museum actually explains to you like what's happening or what the illusion is. but it's actually just really cool, like some of the stuff you can do. Like it was pretty fire. There's like these little like these rooms that are like toppling like left or right a certain way. And anyway, long story short, I took my sister there because she really likes illusions. This one was so, oh my god, that's so cool. Anyway, that's really cool. There's also an infinity room, which is what this is, and that was also really cool. But yeah, I really recommend it if you're ever in Atlanta and you're in Georgia. If you have nothing to do, go check out the Museum Illusions. It's actually pretty cheap to go. It's really fun. Just, you know, I guess the only warning thing is if you have like epilepsy, or if you just have like, you know, if it's just anything like in that area, if you just can't handle that kind of stuff, don't go, obviously. But otherwise, I really recommend it. There's definitely some really cool stuff you can do in here. Also, they have like that one thing that every single like carnival has. You know that carnival, you always have to go through the stairway and like it's always like spinning. Yeah, they have one of those, and you can just infinitely go through it, and you can just go round and round and round, and until you get tired of it. But you know, it's there. You can just do it. So just letting you guys know. But anyway, a lot of cool illusions there. They also have a bunch of like paintings and stuff like that, and you could just kind of wander around and look at the paintings, or you could try to figure out the illusions without actually reading the description. And yeah, it's really fun. The chair one is super cool, by the way. This one's so cool to see. You can actually see like where the illusion is. So this is a stick, this is a stick, this is a stick, and this is a stick, and there's two random like platforms here. And basically someone sits here, someone sits here, or someone stands here, and then you look at the illusion at like a certain angle, and then you take a picture. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about illusions because I'm gonna be talking about it for a while. But anyway, that's what I was doing. This was an illusion. That's the Dayusha person. Where's the, oh my gosh, where's the Dear Days, where are you? Oh yeah, this. So I made a tweet about this, and I kind of want to just briefly talk about like my personal feelings towards the whole Dear Days 2 thing. I just want to be known. I actually, Dear Days 2 is illusion is crazy. What the heck? But I do want it to be known, there's so much information we don't know about this, and I'm kind of hoping that we get more information. Like, so this person here kind of found like this like site of like Dear Days 2 coming out or whatever. It's very possible that this could get updated. I was really angry when I first saw this. When I first saw this, I was like, bro, there's no way that this is the reality, that this is what we're going towards. But it could also change. Also, I'm gonna adjust my music a little bit. And also I'm gonna put it on why can't I put it on shuffle? I can't put it on shuffle. That's tilting. What the heck? Or whatever. Anyway, I'm changing beats. Let's make a whole new game, add 4 cars in the main tech and energy crest. So I think there's a chance that they might update this, or there might be like changes to this. This might not be like everything. Actually, there's no way it's everything, because we have between now and January for them to change things. And oh my gosh, I think I made my music too loud. I'm sorry. But there's a chance that they might change things. I will say my post, I was pretty upset mainly because honestly, it was the no crossplay thing that was like really driving my gears more than everything else. I was like, bro, why is there no crossplay for this? Like, oh, welcome in, Vala. I remember you. I don't remember exactly where, but I've seen your name before, but welcome in. But yeah, the biggest thing was this does not support crossplay. Now I do remember there being like kind of like a reasoning behind it with the old company, like basically saying like they just didn't want to pay for like the extra work to like crossplay it. I didn't see the price even. Yeah, $70 is wild. Like I said, but this price could change. Like I don't know. Like now in the hand, usually prices don't change like this. Sorry, I have cat hair here. They usually don't change that often if they're already there. But I don't even know where this was gotten from. I think someone literally put like Dear Days 2 or something. Like they put the number 2 in like the link, and then it just showed them this or something like that. I don't know. But TLDR, I'm excited for this as long as it's better than the previous one. And I'm not talking about like one change, because some people are super excited over the UI. Let me see if I can find Chris because I think he had a picture of the UI. And I'm happy people were excited about the UI, but we need more than just a UI change, like I do like the fact that we have a UI change, but we need more than a UI change. What the heck is this? Christopher! Where is it? I don't think he has it. Maybe it wasn't him that I found it through. No, it's not here. I don't remember. Oh. There it is. There it is. So this is supposed to be like the new UI that we'll be working with. XC has a better chance of becoming a ban than the drop of the price. Yikes, Dan. Does say hope retail price, and it's on the Dear Days. Off the Dear Days 2 website. Stop. Don't make my life harder. more confused as to why they didn't choose to have this on PlayStation. Yeah, they could have had it on PlayStation. I will say one thing about Dear Days 1 versus Dear Days 2 in terms of the UI specifically. I did not like the UI on Dear Days 1. It was nice in terms of the fact that it looked cool, but it was super inconvenient to use. I'm over here like scrolling through like a crazy banana trying to find like one singular card. It just wasn't very useful. I think the style that Master Duel has is just way more convenient, or something like this just makes way more freaking sense. So I am happy they're updating the UI, but I don't really even care if the UI stays the same. I just want more people to have access to this game, and I don't want people dropping like $200 on this game, because that's my biggest harp with this. Is like, people always, new players always like, hey, how do I play this game without the physical cards? And I'm like, well, you have Dear Days, but then you also have to spend like $200 to play the game, because you need the base game, which yes, you can get for super cheap, I'm aware, but then you also need DLC, because at this point, you know, there's like 5-6 things of DLC since it's come out, and then that DLC is like expensive on top of that. So you basically are still investing like $200, and yes, you're investing $200 to basically an entire card pool. In real life, you would probably have to spend that much money on just one deck, but that's still just like, it's not really a good justification to play Dear Days. Like, it's just, most people will not do it. They're like, I don't want to drop 200 on something I don't even know if I want to play, and I understand that. Now the other issue is the crossplay situation. It's like, okay, cool, I'll drop the money, can I play with people from different platforms? The answer is no, and that's also a problem. Honestly, you don't need all DLC just to get the decks you want. I mean, yeah, you could do that, but then you're kind of, you know, like, you're kind of getting like a half experience. We get the whole experience. I'm one of those people where I'm like, well, what if I want to try a new deck, or if I want to open packs from a different set, or what, you know, it goes into like that realm. But you are correct. You don't necessarily need the entire DLC thing. I think it's just nice to have, because why have access to have the card pool when you can have access to the entire card pool? But that's just how I view it. Also, you know, it's just fun to open packs. I think that's the best part about Dear Days, is just opening packs. But going back to this again, basically, I just feel like I would have been okay with them waiting and just creating a better product. You know what I mean? Like, this felt kind of sudden and kind of out of nowhere, and it just feels like they're just doing this just because, like, it doesn't even make sense why they're doing this. It was kind of, you know what I mean? It's like, what are they trying? Like, if they were creating kind of like a more bigger platform for people to use, so that way more people have access to the game, this would make sense. But that's not even what this is. This is just another game that you have to buy, that you can play, that you can't play with others worldwide depending on what they have. It was just kind of weird. They didn't even announce it. EOS for DD1. Yeah. Wait, what is an EOS? Wait, hold up. What is an EOS? I'm too stupid right now. I can't use my brain. I don't know how to brain. Sorry. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna bring back I'm bringing back my other chat so I don't lose chat. Hello, other chat. Okay. I'm trying to have both chats open. I don't think I'll be able to read both chats at the same time, but at least when I have it. All right, I'm just gonna remain cautiously optimistic. That's, you know, that's valid. I think having some optimism behind this is perfectly fine. I'm staying neutral. That's personally my personal thing. We're just the other. No, you guys are just as important, I swear. It was just, you know, it's like terminology. There's chat 1 and chat 2, or chat 1 and chat 2. Oh, I'm so sad. Welcome in, Leah. The release time was the same day as the disappointing Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG Banlist 2, which could have been a good time to get people to convert games, but if the game isn't up to par and the cost a lot, it's hard to sell new players. Yes, I agree. Is this real? It is real. Welcome in, Yellow. Hi, we're talking about what the hell? You're talking about this? Yeah, this is real. It's so bad, but yes, it's real. Here, there's a lot of let me go through the whole loop of this. Where's Chris's thing? Oh, yeah, here it is. Oh, here, Yellow, it's your favorite meme. It's your favorite meme. Oh, sits down, sees pickle poster, goes away with C's price. Like, but yeah, it's definitely real. So basically, they announced it through like the weirdest way. For those that don't know, because there are some people that don't follow Vanguard like that aggressively as much. In my chat, some people are kind of, you know, 50-50. But yeah, they announced this, what was it? 2 days ago? 2 days ago they announced this. So yeah, it's real, and it is a little scuffy wuffy. Oh, thank you for the shout out, Leah. Much appreciated. Welcome in, Leah, by the way. I was on your stream, now you're on my stream. We're gaming. But yeah, hopefully we'll see something change about this. That's where my optimism is, but I'm staying kind of neutral. This weekend at a Lyrical Cup. Yeah, they showed this at a Lyrical Cup kind of randomly. But yeah, I agree with Leah too about how there could have been a better time, or there could have been something better that could have been pushed out at this time that would have just been so much more. I don't know. My biggest thing is like, do we have the results from the Fish Cup? We do have the results from Fish Cup. We can take a look at them here in a second because I actually think they're very interesting. It's actually the reason why I want to talk about Michu today, because Michu is definitely in that Lyrical Cup. So Lyrical, they had the posters. Yes, I'm gonna drink some water while you guys. Water. What a blessing! What a blessing from Earth, or wherever water is from. I don't know. It's technically from Earth, but anyway. But yeah, so I'm gonna stay as neutral as possible, but I am gonna be honest about it. I don't like this currently. Like, I'm trying to be optimistic. There's like, you know, the chance that things could change. But again, no crossplay. It's expensive as shit. You're starting over. Currently, there's no spectate. There's no way to spectate games, which I think is a big L, by the way, because people could like literally just, you know, take games and convert them over, make them interesting. Do you guys know how many YouTube channels actually just have random videos of them playing Deer Days? There's actually a ton out there. It's really random. It's really niche as heck, but they're just out there just throwing games onto YouTube and just people watching them. And people want to watch these games because guess what? It's still Vanguard. It's still a form of like pseudo seeing what decks do, right? And like literally there's no way to spectate it. You are starting over. That's right. Jeez, yeah. And like the worst part is that this feels like a secondary bag fumble. I think that's what like drives me crazy the most. The first time this could have been such a great thing, and then the second time around it's the same thing with like a small couple changes. Now I will say the art's really cool, but art isn't the reason, you know, art isn't everything. Like, I'm sorry, I had to put it this way. For this specific thing, like art isn't, for this price and how much they're trying to do for this without crossplay, art isn't gonna help this, you know, because a lot of people are like, oh, the art's so cool. It's like, yeah, the art's cool, but you know, like, yeah, the characters are cool, but it's driving me crazy. It's driving me insane because I actually like this. Imagine playing a lot of money. It feels bad for the people that put the money. Yeah, so I don't know, but my guess is there will be some kind of transition over accounts. It would be really weird to me for them to be like, oh no, you have to mandatorily start over. I'm really hoping that's not the case, because I do know from other games, especially if you have like I don't know, like let's say you have like Tomb Raider 2, but you already played Tomb Raider 1. I think Persona does this, by the way. Well, if you have Tomb Raider 1, the copy, then you already get all the stuff in Tomb Raider 2 because you already have Tomb Raider 1. Like, that's the best way to put it. It's like, basically, if you have Deer Days 1 and you bought Deer Days 2, then you already have all the content from Deer Days 1. They could do something like that, but I don't know if they're going to do something like that. I know other games have done that before. I'm going to be a Baron a few months after. Yeah. I don't know. That's the other thing. Like, this game died so fast. Like, honestly, I wasn't keeping up with the analytics of like how well this game was performing or not, but I would be surprised if it was doing well, because I remember I was trying to find like games and I couldn't find games. It came to a point where I had to play bots just to even create content. I ain't gonna lie, playing bots isn't really that fun. And also there was other issues that they had, which I think they did resolve. There was like issues with like time and issues with people leaving like at certain periods. That way neither player gets the points, which is a big problem for people trying to play online. There were so many things that were just not okay. Like I said, I'm really hoping that some of that feedback like is baked into this new game is fixed, but already starting off with no crossplay is a big L. Starting off with $70, big L. No spectating, big L. Like, there's, you know, like, especially since you have content creators that are constantly pushing this game, like you can use that to your advantage. You have people out there for free, like, you know, for free advertising your game. Why wouldn't you want ways to, you know, push that game further, or give them tools to push that game further? Like, I could easily make content on this game every single day if it was worth the time to do so. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, big L. Or if you have Ratchet & Clank 1 save file, you get the old weapons. Yes, Ratchet & Clank is a really good example. If you ever played Ratchet & Clank, especially the first 3, they actually carry over your weapons from game to game. It was so heat. Yeah, Gadgetron goes crazy. Ratchet & Clank is a banger series, by the way. If you haven't played it, you definitely should. It's peak stuff. I'm just gonna quickly show it here just so you guys know what the heck Ratchet & Clank is. For those of you guys that might be younger that don't know what the heck it is. Wow, I look up Ratchet and Clank and I get like 20 other things. Anyway, this is Ratchet and Clank. This is a newer series. This is actually the movie. Whoopsie. I'm also on Yahoo. Not Yahoo. Am I on Yahoo? I am on Yahoo. Why am I on Yahoo? But Yahoo. Anyway, let me go to Google like a good normal person. Ratchet and Clank game. Oh, no. Anyway, this is Ratchet and Clank. You definitely check it out if you have the free time too. I don't know. It like randomly, like I think I downloaded something that I needed for like something. I don't remember what. And then I think it made Yahoo like my main search engine, and I just never switched it back. Anyway, play this game. It's really fun. The Rift Apart one goes on sale a lot. Just go play it. It's better than Deer Days. There's no offense, but it's better than Deer Days. I 100% of these bitches. Yo, what's up? Welcome in. If they would push updates with even half the frequency of how often CFA and Vanguard Pro push it updates, I think it would come out good, but I don't think that's realistic. Yeah, I don't think that's realistic either. Now, I will say, I think if you're gonna put a lot of money into something like this, you might as well kind of take the full mile. I feel like there's just some kind of like a halfway point with this, and I hate it so much. It just feels like it's halfway done. It's like, yeah, here's the game, guys. Yeah, you can play. Yeah, it's got cards. Oh, but then there's all these L's behind, like all the stuff, you know, all the W's. You got all these L's underneath. It's like, why not just go that full mile? Get a. And I know they in terms of simulator stuff, there is like some issues with them wanting to have a sim. So this is the closest thing they can get to in terms of sim stuff. But then just optimize this to the shit. Just make it as close to a sim as possible. Like, just do it. If they just had made it gacha, it could easily compete with Master Duel in the US market. Yeah, honestly, probably. But probably could. It is like pseudo gacha, but it's not the same kind of gacha, because you can realistically get every card in the game without actually having a gacha too hard. You do have to, you know, keep opening packs to get everything, but if you just play the game, you'll eventually open everything. It's not, you know, a completely gacha like Master Duel, where it's literally just good luck. I can't even with DD2, I'm just not happy about this game. I was initially going to pick it up, but after sleeping on it, to me, why would I pick this up for $70 when CFA and other sims are free and have cards and formats in them? Yeah, I mean, like I said, maybe I will say, if I remember correctly, I think there was like kind of like a split. JP was like really excited about this, and the English was just like crapping on this. So it's kind of funny how different it was. But I also think like for us, like globally, this is a bigger, you know, this is a bigger deal, because in JP and like JP, like I like I said, I don't 100% know everything. I'm not there every day, but they have easier access to play Vanguard than I feel Global does. You know, there's some parts of Global that actually completely can't play Vanguard. They either don't have locals, or the game doesn't exist, to XYZ reasons, right? Whereas JP, if you're in JP or like playing the JP version of the game, you'll usually be able to play it. You'll usually be able to find somewhere to play it, right? English side doesn't have that, so in Deer Days matters a lot. I feel like more on the global side than. So long story short, JP might be more excited about it because they could just kind of play it and have fun and have it as a side thing, whereas English actually wants it as a way to play the game. You know, and I think that's where the breaking point is. English is harder on the product because they want a really, really, really good product, whereas JP is more of a side thing, so they don't care if the product's amazing or not. So yeah, exactly. Like, some people just don't have locals, and I hear that a lot. People just can't play the game, or they have to play only online, or they have to play through webcam. But you know, having a simulator, something like something like Deer Days, is a way to play the game. If it's a friend who wants to get into the game and doesn't want to buy physical cards in the webcam and to spend the $70. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, if you go the webcam route, it's not that bad. Like, this is coming from someone who played like strictly on webcam during COVID, because obviously there was no locals for anyone. It wasn't bad. Is it the best experience? No, but I didn't hate it. Like, obviously I'm not doing it now because I have locals to go to, but if I didn't have locals to go to, I'd probably be banking on like webcamming. But the problem with that is, like, it shouldn't just be webcam. There shouldn't be only, and Shadowverse has this problem too, by the way, and I really hope that changes over time. It's actually something I've expressed my feelings about like a lot. Just more access to games like this, like just in general, Bushiroad games, just they don't have the best access, like the best entryway to start the games, and Vice has this problem too. There really just needs to be a better way to play Bushiroad games. I feel like it's the biggest thing they're kind of struggling with, is like a way to expand. Welcome in, Cecil. Hope you're doing well. But Yeah, that's my biggest harp with like Busher games. Like every time I switch to like another card game to try, I'm like, oh wow, there's like all these resources. And then I go back to Vanguard, I was like, oh yeah, I'm just living in a privileged area, like where I have access to everything. But not everyone has this experience, because sometimes people come to me and they're like, oh, I can't get cards, I can't get this, I can't get that. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm sitting here with all my cards and all my locals and all my experiences. Like I'm having a good time and you're not, you know? I love a Shadowverse online game. Yeah, a lot of people would love a Shadowverse online game. More access to play your game in general helps the growth of the game. I agree. So hopefully, big TLDR here. I hope this isn't it. That's all I really want. And like I said, I want this game to grow. Like I really, really want this game to grow. I want Deer Days to grow. Like it's a really good alternative. It's like Magic the Gathering, but without Mana Screw. Oh, you'll love Shadowverse. Shadowverse is very fun. Vice is super rough because someone would name drop an anime and then you'd have to go, oh, that came out 3 years ago. Place that everything would be around 450. Yeah, Vice is kind of also like very IP driven. And like I said, I'm not like a master with like knowing the knowledge between like IPs and what can be done, what can't be done, the contracts and all that kind of stuff, and where kind of the laws in between align with all this, like contracts and where you can and cannot do things. Because that's, I think, the biggest stopping point for a lot of what Vice can and cannot do. It's literally just contracts because of the IP that they're holding. So with that being said, I think Vice is really hard to like branch out because of that. But I think that's the reason. Like I said, I'm not a master with this, I don't know, but I can see that being a problem. If they violate a contract, it's an issue. Speaking of Master Duel, getting the new art of the start distracting is just like, oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Sorry, I'm reading YouTube as well. If you miss out on the series, you are SOL. Damn. Luckily enough, I don't play Vice, but we actually have a locals, funnily enough. I think I brought it up a couple times, but we do have a Vice locals. They actually just had their like monthly meeting at my locals, like literally Saturday. I don't know, I'm so blessed where I live. There's just locals for everything. It's like, you need a card game to play? Come to Georgia, like specifically like near Atlanta area. There's just so much. I welcome in Bejeweled. Hope you're doing well. I will say there are some card shops that are better than other card shops, but for the most part, if you're like living here, it's actually relatively easy to play a card game. It's not hard. Like there's like 3 different. One Piece is crazy. One Piece has like so many here, but there's like 3 different shops that do Vanguard. There's like there's I think 2 or 3 different shops that do Shadowverse. Ton of shops do One Piece. Like One Piece is actually insane. Magic the Gathering is a ton of. Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a ton of. Like there's actually just, I think Flesh and Blood's a thing too. They do Arcana here. Like there's a ton of Arcana. Like there's just, and they're everywhere. They're not even like super spread out. They're all like within like 20-30 minutes of each other. Digimon's a thing here. Vice is a thing here. They're like and by the way, I don't play all these games. I just hear from, you know, everyone else that plays. And like, yeah, the Arcana locals go crazy here. They have like 200 people like easily. We need more access in Europe. Europe definitely is struggling, guys. Europe needs so much help. I don't even know where to begin with Europe. I don't live there. I don't know what to do to even start with Europe. I think part of it is the distribution issues. Orange, you ready for the shop challenge on Thursday? We have a shop challenge on Thursday? That's crazy. I did not know about that. I guess I should probably check my Bushi nav, huh? I believe that there's probably, I'm probably just gonna stick to the same deck I've been playing because I haven't had time to really play any other decks. Guess it's for the black card. Oh, lit. I guess I'm playing. Sounds like you're so ready for it. Oh, I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready to do super well. I'll probably just get stick to the deck I've been on, and I'll probably change like a couple things. So I think I'll be good to go. I'll be fine. There's one deck that I've been on that I've been By the way, he's referring to Shadowverse, just FYI, not Vanguard. Though I think Vanguard shop challenge is coming up too. I think it's in 2 weeks. I think. I'm pretty sure it's at the end of the month of September or something like that, or closer to the end. The Shadowverse issue is more of a regular Shadowverse existing, and it's getting a new version. I think Shadowverse just needs like a really big push, like outside of just like the current issues. It just needs like a really big boost. Like the game is just a little bit too niche right now. It can be fixed over time. I think they need to use the online game to fix the physical game's problems, because I think the people that play the game really like the game, and I'm definitely one of those people. But there's just not enough people know the game exists, because it's, first of all, competing with a bunch of other good games. It's niche because not everybody knows what Shadowverse is, and also it's like its own kind of IP within like the bubble of like what are they called again? Side games. It's within the side games bubble. So if you're like a side games enjoyer, then you know all the bubbles. You know, you have the Princess Connect and all the other stuff they do, right? But if you're outside of the side games bubble, you have no idea what it is, and I think that's kind of its problem. Like side games is just, it's big, but you know, it's not, you know, It's not like the IP isn't like ginormous, but it can get there. I think it can honestly get there. They put a lot of work and effort into all their products. I think they do a really good job overall. They could definitely get there. It's just gonna take time. So we'll see. Used to be like the Grand Showdown. I think I don't know what it is about the Grand Showdown. I'm really excited for it, but I also feel like it's not gonna go as well as we probably wanted to. But I think a good start to the Grand Showdown, since this is the first one, is just having it be streamed. And once it's streamed, that more eyeballs can be on it. Because the biggest thing is, like, if people can see the game, they can get excited about it. And also, it's pretty easy to stream. Like, I've been noticing, like, more and more, like, I've been kind of, like, talking with more content creators about, like, Shadowverse. All you really need is just the health points and, like, the board. And surprisingly enough, it's not that hard to follow the game. Like, you see the life points, you're like, okay, someone's at 20, someone's at 18. 18 means worse. You know, they're doing worse currently than the other person. You know what I mean? It's not that hard to follow it. I feel like Vanguard's a little bit harder to follow sometimes because there's, like, the damage system, and some people don't understand the damage system. But in Shadowverse, it's just, yeah, there's mana, there's life points. If you go to 0, you die, you know? Granblue Gang Rise Up, Guild Wars commence this Saturday. Dang, I know so many people into the Granblue stuff. I haven't touched it in so many years. Anyway. I think that's all I have to say about Deer Days. I hope it gets better. That's all I can say. I hope it gets better. That's all I really want. Maybe with enough people discussing it, there will be, you know, some thoughts about what to improve. I think this right here, this little square, that square, please fix that square. I think if that square gets fixed, we're in a good thing. And keep in mind something, not the same company is working on this. And hopefully, because not the same company is working on this, we'll get a better product. Poke, welcome in! I can't wait to see you in like 2 months. I'm excited. And anyone else that's going to Texas, I will be there. But yeah, that's basically all I have to talk about in terms of Deer Days. Maybe cards in hand, but a lot of the gameplay for Shadowverse can be initiated by other. Yeah, I feel like Shadowverse makes more sense. Like, I've noticed that now that I've been trying more card games, I see why people have trouble understanding Vanguard, because it's so different from like a typical card game, because, you know, Summoner Sickness isn't a thing, and there's like certain things that Vanguard does that other card games just don't do. But I will say Vanguard, if you understand what's happening, the hype is actually pretty good all the time, because it's like, oh, there's stuff happening, oh my god, a trigger, oh, they healed, oh, it's like the hype is always there. Whereas I feel like when we watch something like Shadowverse, it's like, oh, they got to 0. Like that's really it. There's sometimes there's a crazy combo here and there, but realistically it's like, oh, do you have lethal? Yeah, okay, GG. You know, like even when I'm in testing, like my friend and I were testing, there are like 8 life points, for example, and then it's my turn and they're like, do you have lethal? And I'm like, yes. And he's like, okay, GG. Like the game is over. You hope that Texas BCS is streamed like last year? I hope so too. I'll be there, so thank you. Much respects for the water. I think I've been talking up an entire storm, and I'm sorry I'm talking so fast. I actually got a lot of people told me I talk so fast. More water. All right, sure, more water. Off topic, but did you see the Croc remaster? Wait, hold up. Huh? I think I might have. I think. This is the old one. Okay, that's the old one. Wait, what do you... Where? Show me! Show me the... Wait. I need to see it. I need it! Sorry, you guys don't understand. This is my childhood. Croc Remaster announced? Did this just get announced or something? It just got announced? Bro, sorry. I was completely off topic, y'all. This game is so good. This is like peak gameplay. It looks stupid, I know. This is a great game. This game is, it's so good. Wait, is this actually the teaser? Wait, this is actually the teaser. Hold up. So is this like a remaster where it's the same game, but it's just prettier? Whoa, hold up. Let's rewatch this. Hold up. I thought it was a fan made trailer. Look at him go, he's just a little Goku. He's so cute. While others have greatness thirst upon them. Look, that's the villain, guys. I need to turn that off. I'm sorry. Oh my god, the music's back. Do you guys know how much I use Croc's music in my random stuff? You guys don't even understand. I'm actually surprised that they're keeping the game exactly the same. So it actually is just a straight remaster. You know what this means? This means there could be more. Because again, oh, it's so cute. And it's the same company. That's crazy. It's the same people that made the original Croc. Okay. It's Croc the Legend of Gorbos. Oh, this is so exciting. I can't believe it's the same people. Oh my god, that's crazy. Like, so this company is the original company that created the original Croc. Oh yeah. This is why cartoony platforms are so good. So long story short, this was a platformer. And it's it's a really good platformer. So if you ever played Croc as a kid, you are probably happy because this is basically going to be a better version of the game. If you haven't played it and you like platformers, you definitely should play it because it's a really great game. So it was created in 1997, guys. Are you ever into Resident Evil? Yes, I'm a big Resident Evil. I like the Resident of Evil. Oh, that's so exciting. Egg Haven is the best deck and you can never brick with the deck. Yes, Egg Haven is so good, especially when I'm going like 12-0 with it, or sorry, 0-12 with it because I can't get a single normal game and you keep playing spells against me, removing my whole board. But yeah, that's actually really exciting. I didn't know that. I wonder if they're gonna redo Croc 2, because Croc 2 was pretty crap. I'm not gonna lie. This is what Croc 2 looks like, and it just wasn't the greatest. But anyway, TLDR, if you like played Sly Cooper or Crash Bandicoot or Spyro or Rayman, Croc was kind of in that realm. In the Russian, oh no. I don't know, how do I say Egg Haven in Russian? Yeah, I'm just gonna say Яйца, just because it just means egg. Яйца это самые лучшие карты, никогда у тебя не будет проблемы с этими картами. There you go. I basically said egg is the best deck. You're never gonna have issues with this deck at all. I don't know how brick, like the term brick would be in Russian, because it's not literally a piece of brick. The concept of brick is like, you know, not losing with the deck. So I changed it up a little bit. Wonder if they're keeping the tank controls. I assume they're gonna go a similar route that they went with Tomb Raider remaster. So Tomb Raider remaster, they did this thing where apparently KFC chicken is part of Tomb Raider, but they did this thing where you had the tank controls, but you can also swap between tank controls and like modern controls. I will not lie, the modern controls are pretty crap, but some people who didn't play Tomb Raider at all did like the modern controls. I personally thought they were garbage, but I'm also like a tank control extraordinaire. Can I freeze Butler? You can freeze the Butler. You can put him into the freezer. Still a thing. The game is almost exact to the originals. They just made them a lot prettier. So yeah, but I assume they're gonna keep the tank controls and maybe they'll add like a system. I will say, based off what I just saw, it's literally the exact same game but with better graphics, like by like a smidge. It just, sorry, not better graphics, better frames per second. That's probably a better way to put it. Whereas this was like a complete revamp, like in terms of like the, you know, the way it looks, and you know, they updated the textures, whereas this one, the textures weren't really updated. It's the exact same game. Like nothing back here changes. Exactly how the game used to look, which I actually don't mind. I think this could be a step for them to release new Crocs, especially since it's the same company that made them. And I know a lot of people want this game to come back, but the issue with this game is that it kind of fell under between all the other platformers. Like there was just other platformers that are doing a lot better than this one was doing, even though this was definitely one of the better ones. This was up there, though. The competition was hard. This one and all the rest of them were all really good. It's too, dang, YouTube chat said this is too innocent. I hate it here. When am I Rayman coming back? Dude, Rayman is so good. Rayman is so good. OG Rayman, new Rayman, all Raymans. I want them to bring back another game. Like, it's been so long. Rayman Legends was such a freaking good game. Like, this was so good. This was such a good game. Like, where did it go? Like, where did Rayman Legends go? What happened to it? I need more. God, I just love platformers. I don't know. Wait, what is this? Oh no, this is the launch trailer. Bro, Rayman was so good. I think they should remaster the original. They should remaster this one, even though they kind of pseudo did with the other Rayman. They should bring this boy back. It's actually, surprisingly enough, this game isn't as hard as I thought it was. Playing the rabbits, yeah, rabbits kind of killed this game because they're all like, haha, teehee. Here's these random things. They should remaster, completely remaster Rayman 2. Like they should, because I think out of the entire Rayman series, Rayman 2 was the best one. They should just literally take that entire game, completely break it, and make a new one. Like just take that game and put all the levels back, put everything, do the Tomb Raider treatment, and like bring that out. That game is peak. The Rayman 2 has an amazing story, amazing platform, everything is good about it. Hi, hello. I'm just saying hi to people as they're coming in. Rabbits did really kill it. All right, guys, it's time. Time to discuss meta. I have been in such a weird spot with meta recently, and I think maybe talking about stuff might make me feel better in terms of Vanguard meta. Rayman's not dead. He's just eating sushi off a stripper's ass. Why would he be doing that? Why why would he be doing that? Is he even capable of doing that? Where does that come from? Oh yeah, I forgot Ubisoft made Rayman. Oh my god. Isn't Ubisoft going through some kind of weird thing with their company? I don't know. I don't follow these politics that often. But isn't there some crazy stuff going on with Ubisoft right now where like everyone's like shitting on Ubisoft or something? I don't know. I don't follow this stuff. But we are here to talk about our favorite curly-haired hero. He is the tier list guy. You know what? Back in the day when I said he's the tier list guy, now he's the tier list guy because not only does he create tier lists, but he also makes them insanely in depth. He adds borders to them now. There are He adds borders to these bitches. Like there's actual borders per nation. This guy goes so. I need to look at this. Look at how much effort is put into these little boxes. He even has like the freaking collab sets on here. Like, what is wrong with this guy? But anyway, oh, I just raised my music, Scott. Sorry, y'all. Because we're watching Croc. All right. Yeah, he goes so crazy with these. But there's so many in here. I don't know if we want all of them or some of them. He has a competitive list as well. And obviously I'm not going to talk about every single deck in here. I'm sorry, y'all. There's just too many. But what we could do is we could pick the competitive list as well. I just don't know. I don't know if this is enough. That's my only problem. I just don't know if this is enough. So that's why I thought all of them would just make more sense. Also, I think talking about Vanguard, just Vanguard strengths and weaknesses, like just how decks are performing, is super hard right now. There was recently someone made a sort of like a list where they basically were talking about like hyper aggro, like mid-range, whatever. It was like basically like kind of broken down a little bit differently, and that made more sense to me than people just going, this is tier 1, this is tier 2, this is tier 3, because I agree with that person. I think it was Toyo. I want to say it was Toyo that did this. I don't know how to look this person up though, because it's I just don't. Oh, they're up there. They're there. So I think Toyo probably made the closest tier list in terms of Vanguard, just Vanguard tieristism, whatever. Because I don't know how to explain it. I don't think there is like a best deck. I think there's just a lot of decks that do a lot of. What's this art? Anyway, there's a lot of decks that do a lot of good things right now, and I think you can't just sleep on a deck that easily or say one deck is better than the other. Here it is. So there's high reach, aggro, grind, high reach B, aggro B, grind, rogue, gimmick. And I know this is like a lot of stuff, but basically this is probably the best way to explain where Vanguard decks stand right now, because you can't just say like Shododoji is the best deck in the format, because that's not actually entirely true, because next to it is also Nui, who also has a really good high reach type of approach. I think Leonor kind of hits these topics as well. Some decks are good at grinding, like Kyoka is like right here. This is another good secondary high reach deck. Messiah has an insanely good high roll, but then the slow roll is really bad, but it's also not a bad pick too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these decks are all really good picks for their own reasons. That's why you can't really just classify one deck as the best deck, especially for BCS season. I agree. I actually think this is one of the hardest metas to decide a deck on that we're going into for BCS. I've been really struggling. There is no like, this is the deck to play. There is like arguments based off like performance of decks. You could be like, oh, well, since Shododoji is performing the best, then you should probably play Shododoji. You can argue that. But after that, it's kind of up to your discretion what you consider the best deck is, because like, of course, don't just go, oh, you know, well, I think the best deck is a I don't know what's that one collab that nobody plays? Freaking Record of Ragnarok. Of course, that's probably a little too out there. This guild will dominate this meta more than the deck you take. I agree. I think knowing what you're facing will matter a lot if we take variance out of the equation. Knowing how to fight the decks you're facing will make a difference. Anyway, so let's go back over here. I'm gonna make the tier list a little bit more simple. We're gonna go should take to a BCS. You can take to a BCS. It's okay. Or neutral, I guess. I'll think about the neutral slot. Should not take to a BCS. So I'm gonna keep it a little bit more simple for this tier list. And we're probably just gonna collab. Actually, no, I don't even think we need this tier. I just don't think we need it. Why did this move? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? I hate it here. I think we're actually gonna even remove this slot. I think we're actually whoopsie. Not bad. I think this slot's gonna go. Anyway, so basically, there is decks that you probably should take, decks that can perform that you can take, and decks you should probably not take. And I think that's the best way to explain this meta. Local's top end should be the bottom. Local's top end should be the bottom is actually a really crazy statement. Maybe make 1 or 2 top A tier. We could probably, in the tier itself, maybe put like 2 decks that are just like dominating the format. Basically, this could probably be the top end of should you take to a BCS, and then kind of push everything else down. Because in my opinion, like, I agree with like this, but I also want to break it up like this and just be like, have fun, figure it out. I think this is just easier just to kind of control it, figure out. You should just make a 4 throw. You should take to a free fight. True, there could be like a free fight area. Now we'll say I'm not gonna go over every single deck in this list because obviously I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't touched some of these decks in probably years, personally. Some of these decks are just not doing too well, or they're just too behind. So now I do notice that Lyrical is in here, but I don't know if set 4 is in here. So set 4? Set 4 is not in here. So this is everything besides set 4, which is fine because we could talk about set 4 another day. Actually, I do see the black deck in here. The Astrum. It is set 4? I'm trying to find a set 4 deck. What's that? What's a set 4 deck? The Lisqueria. No, yeah, this is a set 4 deck. I do. Well, Coral is Lyrical set 3. Or set 4. That's Lyrical stuff. I believe you. I really do. I should just be up here. Isn't there a new Dragon Empire deck that should be in here? Oh yeah. This is including set 4. Okay, cool. We're good. All right. We're just gonna go down the line, but first we're gonna quickly zoom out and just move all these suckers into this tier real quick. I'm sorry, these decks are just too behind. Even if you love them, you hate them, you probably just shouldn't be taking these decks. Like, I'm not gonna include token in that, but there's just really, I feel like I shouldn't even need to discuss why you shouldn't take these decks. Yes, you have a chance because there is some level of variance that could probably get you through, but realistically speaking, if you're like in especially if you're in NA and you're playing for like I don't know, like 8 rounds, 9 rounds. Keep in mind, there's a new Leticia. There should be a new Leticia. Oh my god, is there? Yes, there's new Leticia. So these older decks are probably not as viable, I feel like. Actually, we'll put this one here because I'm not sure on this one yet. I'm not sure on Celestial yet. Old Kyoka is definitely out. Patrolka is out. Medio Old is out. Michu is technically a hybrid. Mushi King, I'll figure out Mushi King in a sec. What else can we move over there? I don't know Token Rambu that well, so I might be getting undecided here. Here in a little bit. Is there anything else I missed that maybe needs to be discussed? Like, I think Morphonica is actually on this list too. I'm sorry. That's just my personal opinion. Sorry, Morphonica enjoyers. I'm putting her down there. I don't think that, I know it's been performing, but I legitimately don't think it should be taken out to a BCS. That's just, there's better restanding decks they could be on that isn't that deck. And it's not bad, it's just not great. This could probably join the squad too. Actually, we'll talk about this one. This one's kind of a mystery. I feel like we don't have enough results. I'd say Moonchica and are the only viable. Okay, so Moonchica is this one. I guess we'll move the rest down here, and if anyone feels differently after some discussions, we can change it out. Mushika and training tools. I do know training tools is performing well. I don't know much about the Muchika stuff, but I also know some people value Yatsuba, so we'll kind of probably discuss Yatsuba. I don't know about all of these. I have pseudo kind of looked into them. They didn't feel that insane, so I'm gonna drop these in here as well. All right, so I think that Claudine can join this. No, we can hold on Claudine. I think that about sets it up, and then we might be throwing a couple more in there, but it might be a little bit easier to sort of discuss things. Anyway, so what is Triumph Dragon? I'll just be honest. What in the world is this? Is this a deck that's out already? Am I just that behind on like? Is this deck out? Triumph. Sorry, I do not know enough about Dragon Empire to know that. It's a star deck. Oh, it's the star deck. That's why it looks semi-familiar. Okay, that makes more sense. All right, lit. Actually, let me get rid of my Croc here. Okay, it's a start deck. I know some start decks are decent. I don't think this is one of them. Varga, I think we all know, is definitely a deck you can take and probably should take. If you've been on Varga this entire time, I think you have no reason not to take this deck. I will say I don't think it's the best deck out of the options, but it's definitely not the worst. I think it's kind of more towards that you can take it. I do think out of all the Dragon Empire options, this is probably slowly becoming a worser one. But I feel like if you've been on the whole time, you should take it. You should not take any start deck to a BCS. Damn. I think this is a can take. It does have performance though, so I'm kind of I feel like if you've been on the whole time, this isn't a bad choice. I think I'll leave it there, especially since if you know what you're doing. What is this? Oh, this is a start deck. We can put this. I'd say low. Yeah, we'll probably keep this on the lower end. I know this one. I don't know what this is. I'll wait for people to tell me what that is. In the meantime, we're definitely gonna throw this in the knots to take. This is the set 3 guy that came out. I ain't gonna lie, when I read him, I was like, there's no way this deck has any viable performance. I asked the Dragon Empire main, and Dragon Empire main said, nah. So I think a lot of Varga players for the most BCS will have the new grade 3 as an option. Yeah, exactly. The only card that you play from a start deck is the Generator. Yikes. This is the combining dude. Is interesting, but nah. Okay. There's also Emma. I think we're gonna put Emma here in case we get her. We don't know if we will, but I don't think Emma's that viable. Now this deck, the Ali Calibra, I definitely think is a viable contender. And is that I think it's the it's gonna like kind of what someone said in chat. This is definitely gonna be the deck that people are gonna be switching over to from Varga. They kind of have not exact play styles, but yeah, this deck's pretty powerful. If this deck takes first, it's kind of nutty. It's just a little nutty. You get to ping your opponent some damage. You get to have really aggressive columns. It's actually pretty good. I've seen some play some. I haven't tested it myself. I don't really test Dragon Empire that often. I usually play into it more. But I have seen this deck in action, and it is very scary going first. They rack you up, and then they ping you for a damage, and on Persona they'll kill you. It's a very fast deck. Doji is definitely a deck you should probably take. I will personally give you my opinion right now. I think in set 4 this deck's a little weaker, and there's a lot more options to take. But specifically set 4. I think set 3 Doji is pretty insane. I do think set 4 and going into set 4 and just set 4 meta, I think this deck isn't as powerful. But that's just my personal opinion on it. It has its moments. I don't know. There's something about set 4. I feel like that opens up the meta in a way where this deck starts falling off. But I will say, if you win the dice roll, this deck is still going to be very strong. It's very aggressive. It's very fast. For you guys that don't know what Shodoji does or aren't as familiar with Shodoji, basically it's a deck that filters its deck out like crazy, and it has multiple attacks. It has a really good turn 2 turn. It can have a really good turn 1 turn depending on how you play it out. It can rip a card from hand while also binding your dudes, and so on and so forth. It's just it's strong, but I will say it has a hand issue. I think its biggest thing is hand issue, and there's certain pieces you have to see, and if you don't see them, the deck starts falling off. Going second is a little rough in my opinion, but also you need to put your opponent at certain damage to kind of really pop off on Persona turns. Your opponent heals out, has OT, whatever, this deck instantly becomes worse in my opinion. I don't think Paul is that big of an issue for Doji. I just think that if there are decks that are just basically, if decks like Orphist exist, Shodoji struggles because it can't block that easily unless they have the PG and bind. It's like, okay, this is an 8k column. You cannot guard an 80k column with Shotodoji. It's just, you can't do it. Like, unless you have like an OT in hand or something, or if you're running Defensing Roar, it is very hard to block really big columns at a time. And we'll get into Blackmire here in a second, because Blackmire definitely is one of those decks. But TLDR, still a good choice. This deck is kind of poo-poo. I remember some people really early on when we first got the quick decks were saying this deck is good, and I don't know. I played this deck and I was like, this deck kind of sucks. Android. So Android is good once it gets a grade 3. The issue with Android is actually time. We're gonna be in a lot of time rules, especially with this BCS coming up. Time's gonna be a big deal. This is a very hard deck to take if you're worried about time. I think that's what she's telling me. Oh, my locals are arguing in chat. Help. I want to put this deck in a you can take it to BCS, because I actually do think this deck can perform, but I'm actually going to put it down here because I think time is a big issue. Yeah, Shoujo just hard counters stalls. Correct. Shoujo can also deny this deck because they can specifically remove specific cards that you want, but you keep in your bind zone, and that is a problem. So I want to put in the can take to BCS, but I do think this kind of needs to, I think it needs to stay and that you should not take it. I think people will still take it because it's actually a good deck. But it's surprisingly not that bad, to be honest. I would say can only because if you have a hard grinded, the deck time shouldn't be an issue. That's fair. Okay, we'll put it in the can take tier. I think the deck is viable. Once you're on grade 3, this deck is kind of insane. Just play fast and hope your opponent plays fast too. Quagmire, I definitely think is a contender in set 4. This deck is actually insane in set 4. It does a lot. The new Dragon's insane. It makes really good columns. So before this deck had a deck out issue, and I actually think it was a little gimmicky before. I think it's one of those decks where it's like, oh, if all those stars align and you check OT at the right time and blah, 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 and X equals Z and your opponent just doesn't understand how the divine skill works. Yes, this deck is good because it also draws a ton on top of that. But if your opponent knew how to play into this deck, they could either deck you out, play around your gimmick, or just not die. And then, like, the only time I think this deck performed the best is if you check OT on Divine Skill, because you're basically dead. You literally can't play around that. You can't PG anything unless you PG out of the zones that it isn't from hand. Like, it was just, you know, that was its win con, I feel like. But with the set 4 in mind, it now makes insanely good columns turn after turn. It also has an early rush now. It has better resources to play. And I think because of that, the deck is a should take to a BCS. Yes, this deck gets a lot. I definitely recommend people testing this deck and figuring out what it does. It does stick out pretty quickly. Be careful with what you're drawing, what you're not drawing. So just be careful. It is a scary deck. The thing about it is when the divine skill is offline, the deck is still very lethal. So the numbers will be very, very high. So especially the later the game goes. So be cautious of this deck. I don't think it's the strongest deck to take, but I do think it's definitely a deck to consider. We have this random token deck. We can put it there. Benny, I think if we get her in time, is an option. I don't know if it's the best option. I haven't personally sat down and played the cards. However, I have read the cards and have watched gameplay of it, and she does do a lot of good stuff. If we get this in time, and if people have sat on this deck for like enough time, if they've been playing online or CFA, I think this deck has a chance. It's actually pretty annoying. Is the stream fake? No, it's not fake. So that's that. Lukier, I think, is a potential contender, but I think this deck is very hard to play if you don't know what you're doing. It's another time deck. This one's hard. It's like right in between these two. You probably shouldn't take it, but I don't know. I'm gonna put it down here, but I do think this is a contender. I think Venus Lukier has a shot. I haven't played it enough to know, but I personally, I mean, it might be more like a locals deck. I don't know. This one's tough. This one's tough. Sacrifice Glass is definitely an L. I think Sacrifice Glass is a super L. Welcome in, Shizuku. Hope you're having a good day. Sacrifice Glass has really cool gimmicks. Very cool deck. Unfortunately, needs more, and letting your opponent draw just feels super bad. Not a fan. I'm gonna add Barrow to this list. Unfortunately, Barrow feels the same pile of Barrowness from last time with slightly better effects, and I just don't think it's enough to bring the deck over to like a BCS thing. I think a lot of decks have more shield, more ways to deal with Pharaoh turns, and unfortunately, like, I don't know. There's just, it's not bad, don't get me wrong. And I think under the right build, it could perform. I just think he's a little more. Harry is not gonna be part of this. Let me make another tier. Let me make a not hackable tier. An NA tier. NA. That worked. That did not work. Oh, well, no. Did not. And this is the NA tier. So you're joining the NA tier because we just don't have information about this deck. This can also join the NA tier. This is a no. Raziel is probably here. Caterpillar is strong, TLDR. The generic cards are good. Yeah, this is definitely like a later decision. The Rizzler, not the Rizzler, bro, not like this. Not the Rizzler. But yeah, I think Caterpillar is just really good. And I think that's actually what's carrying this deck right now is just Caterpillar. And it's one of those things where if Caterpillar goes well, you could probably just take it and just have fun with it. So there's that. We have Lyle. I've been seeing some mixed conversations about this deck. I'm gonna put in that you should probably not take it to BCS, but hey, I've seen some performances with this deck. People have been doing well. I've seen even like older lists. I think even Chris made like a whole tweet about like Lyle performing well, like it was like doing well in one of the events or something because of how like, you know, defensive she is. I haven't spent enough time on this deck to really give my full thoughts, but from what I've been hearing, for the most part, it's not the greatest. Raziel work, Raziel. Been scaring my locals with Raziel for no good reason other than Caterpillar good. Exactly. I think Raziel generically is just a very, very good deck. But yeah. What else do we have here? We have Maldorin or Maldon. So this is the undercover deck. I actually don't think this deck's that bad, but I'm gonna put it here for now. Personally, my opinions might change about this, but I think it's okay. I probably wouldn't take it. But it's okay. Alden I think is a maybe choice. I think it's definitely an option. I don't think it's the best option. I just think it's an option. New Alden, old Alden. There is some discussion that maybe old Alden is actually better than new Alden, but you just run the new stuff from the new Alden and put it in the old Alden. There's some kind of mixed feelings about this deck. It's actually not a bad deck. If you have resist on your dudes, you have like multi-attack, bouncing, all this kind of cool stuff you could do. I actually did watch your Alden video. I actually that's a lie. I watched it, but it wasn't on my channel. But I did watch it. I watched it. You had the old one, you had the new one. I legitimately actually watched it. You had the one dude on it that you guys were both playing. Like, it was a recent video you did. Like, I actually did legit. I've actually been watching your videos a lot more recently, but it's more so that here it is. If you guys are curious, you guys can actually check it out yourselves. But yeah, you're playing this one guy. But you should check it out. It's actually a pretty good video to see kind of how old Alden and new Alden perform. So here you guys go for that. And yeah, me and my boyfriend, we sometimes do these things where on Wednesday nights we just like to watch like gameplay. And we're coming back into Vanguard, so we've just been dead ass just watching Top Deck Heroes. that's been our what's literally been our go-to. But usually he streams it, so I'm watching on his channel on his like stream what's going on. So yeah, so that's another deck to consider. I think it's definitely a contender, just maybe not the best contender. We have this stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna put in the NA slot because I just don't know personally. Astrum is definitely a no, but has a chance, especially with the cards they have. What up? Some streams us. So well, on Discord, it's just a private call. Just a private call. My boyfriend turns off the screen and we just watch. Wednesday nights go crazy. Yes, exactly. Wednesday nights go crazy. We just sometimes have been watching some of y'all's stuff. Yeah. No, we're not like literally like streaming your stuff and going, hey, look, it's Philip. And it's just us. It's just us streaming on a live platform. Going, look, it's Philip doing Philip things. No, we're usually just talking and watching stuff. Velstra, I do think it's better. Want to watch that? That's pretty funny. Velstra I think is actually pretty okay. The new cards this deck gets, if we get the promo in time, I think this is a very viable deck. If we don't get the promo in time, I don't think this deck is as good. The doggy promo, I think it's a dude that I think has dog ears. That's pretty good. And then the grade 1 that comes out in the next set is also really good. That's set 4-1. It's definitely, I don't know if it's here because I think we need the promo. I think we need the promo. Without the promo, this deck is definitely worse. But we'll put it up here. I think it's definitely an option. I don't know if it's here though. But it's good. I will say don't sleep on this. This is definitely a don't sleep on it. I will make you'll make it get up there. Honestly, I think the deck has so much potential now. The fact that you get your revives and everything, but I do think you need the dog promo. If it comes out, then we're sitting really well. The doggy promo comes out. Okay, cool. The dog promo comes out. I think I'm gonna put it on the top of can you take. It's definitely touching the should you take here. It's definitely a really good choice. This deck is very aggressive, really good for going first turn. Now you can revive your dudes on top of that. It's powerful. It's very powerful. We have Retro Dude here. We're gonna put Retro Dude in the don't take tier. He just needs more support. The deck's actually pretty good. It just needs more love. Dayusha is on a you can take tier. It's actually been performing pretty decently well. It has like a way to deck thin. It has the restanding stuff. It's not a terrible deck. I don't think it's the best option, but I think you can get away with some cool stuff with this deck. So we're gonna put it there. Archite I think is another option. I just don't think it's the best option out of the Brain Gate decks. So it's just another option up there. I'm not a big fan of Archite. I think it's a little bit kind of meh. But I will say on Vanguard Day, the winner of our Vanguard Day was actually Archite. Can we throw the bottom? Okay, here he can go down here just for you, Dan. Poor red throw. Oh, dude, my boyfriend was testing this deck. It was pretty annoying. I'm not gonna lie. It was annoying. This is the on hit deck. This shit was I think this was the on hit deck. This shit was annoying. Like holy crap. El Paldino or El Paldillo. El Paldillo. This one's tough. I think this deck falls into the tier that I thought Blackmire fell before set 3. I think it's a gimmick deck right now. I think it needs more help. But I think people are gonna take it regardless. There is some hope for this deck. I personally think it's a gimmick. I think it's more gimmicky now than it was before. I feel like some people are gonna take this just because of Doji. They're just gonna think like, oh, like I can just beat Doji, so I'm gonna take this deck because I can beat Doji. And I don't even think it's a full answer. I think Doji is fine with El Padillo in mind. It is. I think if you go second, it's a little harder. But I don't know. I'm really weird about this deck. This deck needs a little bit of luck to kind of get there. But alas, people have been cooking with this deck. So I think this black deck's insane. We're not gonna get it, so I'm gonna put it in A tier for now. If we get this, I think this deck instantly goes to like the top tier. The deck feels like if you hit a heal, you can play the game. Hit 2, you win a lot of matchups. Yeah, I agree with Card Fighter. It definitely has some moments where it's very powerful. It has that Gandiva effect where the later the game goes, the stronger it gets. The baseline of the deck, like the little frontline baseline, gets really powerful. I do think it's a little gimmicky though. This black deck, I think is very, very, very strong. I think it's one of the better options. I do think it's better than Velstra. However, we don't know if we're getting it, so I'm just gonna throw it down here for now. If it was up to me, I think I would put it up here. Either be up here or up here. I came from YouTube to say I feel disrespected by the Armada take. Gonna bring my Armada to... No, go for it, dude. Prove me wrong. I am watching. I can't show it necessarily. Actually, I can't show it. I'm just gonna... I have both chats open right here. So I am watching both chats, just FYI. I'm just not responding necessarily to all of it because it's just a lot to respond to between both of y'all. But I am actually watching. Not seeing Freiheit? Yes, Freiheit is Black's biggest weakness. We're gonna put it down here for now since we don't know. Also, welcome in Key Shooter on both sides now. Cristianos actually can do some crazy stuff, but we're gonna put him in the should not take to BCS tier. This deck can make some insane columns, but it's still like a start deck. He has some start deck syndrome. I've played into this deck a couple times recently, and it's actually not, this deck actually isn't bad. It makes a board for free. It has some other issues, but it's actually not bad. Wait until the QSD videos come out. Oh, I see the quick start deck videos. I ain't gonna lie, this deck has potential. It's very, very aggressive. The restanders go hard. Like this deck actually isn't that bad. Someone on Twitter mentioned that you could take the Cristiano's restander and put it into Night Rose. I thought that was so funny. You can do that, by the way. You only need the Gaia's Soul. The Vanguard doesn't have to be Cristiano's for the effect. So that's really funny. Velstra is a beast 100% should not take if you have the promos. Should take if you have the promos. Agreed. Let's see what else we have. We have Valino. I think Valino is a maybe deck. There is... This deck grinds like crazy. This is a grind deck. Should you take it? I'm not 100% sure. But this deck can grind through a lot. A lot. When the restander attacks with 60k, 2 crit twice in Cristianos. Yes! The restanders for 2 damage go crazy. Like, there's some... you can put the Nectar on it and... Oh, yeah. I play it, but when it works, it works. So, Valino is one of those decks, correct. When it works, this deck is very scary when it works. When it doesn't work, it kind of falls off. So, it's kind of up to you, up to your discretion if you're willing to take that gamble, I feel like. Zorga, I think, is a maybe pick as well. I ain't gonna lie, I am not a believer of the Zorga, but I know 100% there's gonna be those 3 motherfuckers that are gonna take this deck and they're just gonna randomly win a BCS. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen because we have some of the most diehard Zorga fans I think ever. Like there's some people, there's some in Europe, there's some in NA, there's some people that just they only play Zorga. Like I don't even think they touch anything else. So Wolf, yeah, Wolf will do it. Wolf will guarantee you probably take a top somewhere with this deck, probably even first place. So because of that reason alone, we have to throw it on here. Also, I honestly don't think this deck's that bad. When everything works, it's very lethal. If you divine skill correctly, very lethal. It just has moments where everything goes wrong and you just auto lose and it just feels awful. Now, granted, I'm going to tell you right now, this argument is kind of like a glass cannon argument because this can happen with any deck. I just feel like when it happens when this deck specifically, it's very terrible in comparison to some other options that are above, that are kind of like right here. So I think this deck falls under that syndrome too, by the way. When things are going wrong, you're kind of in trouble. Straha can probably definitely join this squad. It's not bad, it's just not as good as the other Stoicheia decks. I'm not too sure about the Dragon. I'll leave it to you guys for this one. Oh, for Zorga, Shoujoji, that's fair. That's actually, oh, true, they can unbind your orders. God, that's so annoying. Anyway, how do we feel about Levy? I actually have not tested this deck at all. I have no knowledge on Levy. I'm gonna leave it to y'all. Where are we putting Levy? Levy's a nah. Nah, it goes until someone changes my mind otherwise. Only slight issues not seeing 1 order, 1 Shadow Cloak, 2 RPD, and opening hand, discarding 2 off Rainker Chain, but that's okay. We win these. Oh my god, stop. Oh my god. Sunburst is popping off. I will say you do have to keep the Doji matchup in mind when you're picking some of these decks, because I'm going to tell you right now, you're gonna face a Doji player. Just be honest with yourself. You're gonna see a Doji player, and if you're gonna see a Doji player, you have to take a deck that you know can beat Doji. If you feel like your deck auto loses to Doji, you probably shouldn't be playing it. I'm just gonna be honest with you right then and there. Don't take a deck that can't beat this deck, or don't take a deck that auto loses to this deck, because that is a huge issue. Do not be like that. Don't be like that person. Anyway, looks like Levy is staying down here. It's a should not take. We have Night Rose. This is NA. BB is NA. Marlin is a no-no. Chris Rain is a contender, in my opinion. I haven't spent time on the restandard option as much, but I have spent time on the regular version of the deck. I think the restandard definitely helps it. I definitely think it's an option. I don't know, like this is definitely down here. Definitely sorry Valina. I think this is an option. She's actually pretty strong. Definitely don't sleep on her. Very, very good deck. So just be mindful. Did I lose my chat for a sec? I saw my stuff refresh for a sec. Am I still alive? Nah, for Chris Rain? Dang, Zen says nah. Ah, Zen, how can you do this to mommy? How can you say that to mommy? Mean. Chris Rain has blindsided me randomly. Yeah, she'll do that. She'll do that. I think this deck's like... So, I don't think she's bad. Thanks for the water. I don't think she's bad. I do think there's better lyrical decks. I think that's my problem with this deck. If I were to pick between her and the other lyrical decks, I'm probably gonna pick the other decks. And we'll talk about this a little bit later. I'm gonna put her that can take tier, but I might drop her. Just play Michu? Yeah, for real, just play Michu. Flaming G is definitely a Nah deck. It has some cool stuff it does, but I definitely think it's a Nah. Floricia, I don't know if there's enough results on this deck to really talk about this deck, but we're gonna put her in Nah for now. Runa, I don't think there's anyone playing this deck, so put her in the Nah tier. I think Mediel is kind kind of garbo. Sorry, she's like my favorite lyrical deck, but she's kind of garbo. Leafia, I don't know, but I'm gonna put her in the no tier for now. Hazelet, I think kind of enters this realm too. Michu, I definitely think is up here. Actually, this deck is, I know you guys are gonna be like, wait, what? What do you mean it's up here? Bro, this deck's really, really strong. She has issues. The issue is don't draw this card that you see on the card itself. Just don't draw that. If you don't draw that, the deck's really good. You just don't draw the personas and you're fine. I actually think I had a list somewhere. I think I kind of might have closed it at this point. Let's quickly talk about her, just so I can give you guys a little bit of understanding. I was actually gonna make an entire video on this, and instead of making a video, I decided to hit the live button instead. I'm not even joking. I was gonna legitimately just record videos today, and this is gonna be one of the topics I was gonna talk about. Easiest to build. It is the easiest to build. This is probably the easiest list to piggyback off of and make changes from this list. This is the second place list, kind of recent. And this is also I might move her, by the way. We're just gonna talk about her first, and then I'll decide where I want to move her. So this is the second place list, and this is a pretty standard list. The only change you could make here that I think is viable is moving one of these Nakinos and adding in basically there's a red-haired girl, and the red-haired girl lets you basically recycle your personas, and you can take 2 out for the red-haired girl. There might be a list in here that might actually have the red-haired girl in it. I think I remember seeing like 1 or 2 that was running her, but most, as you can see, most lists are keeping it pretty standard. But they are using the most fitting PG. Oh, this is another, you can use this to cycle back your normal units as well. This is another option, by the way. But there's somewhere in here. There's a first place list too, what the hell? Crazy. Okay, no one's running her. But long story short, there's a grade 3. Welcome in, Igni. Oh, happy Labor Day. Hi. Welcome on in. I hope you're doing well. Anyway, TLDR. There's a grade 3 red-haired girl. There's a very simple effect. She bomb decks stuff. And you can basically bottom deck. Welcome in on the Twitch side too. Hello. We haven't gotten to Messiah yet. But yeah, so if you can find a way to get these grade 3s back into deck, it's usually helpful. But I think most people just kind of they just accepted the L. If things go wrong, things go wrong. But basically the way this deck works is you ride up to grade 3, the regular grade 3, and then you basically use her effect to get to the other grade 3. And this grade 3 basically says your stuff is free. And then also you basically just get a ton of power. And then you play this card that says, hi, I have a drive check. And then this is, by the way, not restricted. Not restricted to your opponent being on whatever grade they are. Thanks for the shout out, by the way, for giving a shout out to Iggy. Much appreciated. So you just basically on your first grade 3 turn have triple drive, and the numbers are pretty big, especially if you cycle in the cannonball. So you can make some pretty insane numbers on your first ride. This deck has some issues, and the number one issue is if you draw all of these before you ride to grade 3, that's a problem. If you don't see this card, that's also a problem. But outside of that bubble, you should be fine, because this card gets you all your Nakino pieces, and you can just kind of go crazy. This lets you counter charge, gets power. This deck is very simple, and the drive checks on grade 3 while your opponent's on grade 2 gets pretty nutty, especially when you're swinging for 30k, 40k columns on your first grade 3 turn, by the way. TLDR, this deck's actually pretty good. But like I said, it has issues. I am gonna drop it, I think, a tier, just because it's not 100% consistent. I'm gonna put it here. I think it's a viable option. I don't think it's the best option, so we're gonna kind of stick it down here. I think this deck has a lot of potential, and it's definitely on my list of potential decks I want to take, but we'll see. I'm gonna keep testing it more, and I'll kind of see sort of where I fall under with this. We had a lot of fun with White Wings. Yes, you can create a White Wings deck. It's a little gimmicky, but yeah, you can basically have crits on rear guards if you create the White Wing version. You do have to high roll a little bit more, but you can do it. You can go down that route, because fun fact, for those of you guys that don't know, her effect says to bind this girl in your main phase. So basically, since you have a grade 3 in the bind zone, White Wings is active on odd numbers, and grade 3s are odds. So because of that, your White Wings is active, and you will consistently always have this condition as long as you keep doing the effect. Crit Nakino, yes. Moves to Vanguard, correct. Yeah, she moves to the Vanguard circle, and you can put the crit on her, and then, move her up, swap. So it's very funny. It's very high roll. It's funny, but it works. So yeah, it's something you can think about as your deck building for the funsies. But yeah, I think that's enough talking about Michu for now. I'll probably still make a separate video on this deck because I do want to talk about it since it is a little bit of a sleeper deck in my opinion. But we'll discuss some more later. Kyoka is considered one of the strongest lyrical decks, so I think I have to put it up here just because it has a lot of performance. I actually don't think this deck is as insane, but it's definitely good. I think this deck's biggest issue is that it's just numbers. There's no real pressure. It's just raw numbers. Shodoji also kind of does this. It's also just numbers, but Shodoji also deck thins I think a little bit better. Basically it's a 6-attack deck, numbers, they go crazy, and they can recycle the same cards over and over again. Can't really stop it. They're just gonna keep doing it. They'll either deck out or kill you, and that's basically the deck. Draws a lot, checks the top 5 a lot. Pretty consistent overall. You can bounce perfect cards back to your hand, yada yada yada. That's basically what this deck's biggest strengths are. The weaknesses is like you can telegraph the turn pretty well. I agree. I think you think Michu is low-key a should. I think personally, if you were to ask me, I think Michu is better than Kyoka. But by results, Kyoka is better than Michu. So it's kind of like, you know, it's up to I don't know. It's hard for me to decide which one, because they're both strong in their own reasons. Because I will say Michu going second isn't as good. Kyoka going first or second is kind of whatever. Why is Kyoka there twice? There's 2 Kyokas. Hi, welcome in. Hello. Welcome in, key shooter from the follower end. So there's 2 Kyokas because this is the OG Vanguard and this is the new dress-up Vanguard. Realistically speaking, they are technically 2 different decks, but it's honestly just play this one over this one. I'm just saying Michu higher on VG Paradox than Kyoka. You know, you're not wrong, but they've also been having a bunch of Lyrical Cups. And I do think Lyrical Cup kind of skews that a little bit. Because I think if you take it to a pure Lyrical deck, I think this is better to take to a pure event. I don't know. Do you have Lyrical? I don't think you have Lyrical Cup on here. But let me just check something real quick. Michu does have results. She does have results. Let me do something real quick. Let me see something. Is there a way to just look up a Lyrical? Oh my god, there is. So, Kyoka is lower, actually, than Michu. That's actually pretty funny. You are right. It is actually... You know what? Screw it, guys. It's by tier list. I do what I want. There she goes. There you go. I don't care anymore. We're putting her up here. She's staying up here. She can have her glory. I like this better, personally. Yeah! It's technically it's our tier list. This is a combination of a team effort, guys. Come on. Like, we're all part of corporate world. I pocket win again. Oh my god. That's silly. Alright. Alright, we have Leticia. I think Leticia is a big maybe, to be honest. It basically did the same thing it did before, but just slightly better. I've always thought this deck was like low-key strong in like all times of the game, like since its release. It's just one of those decks where when it high rolls, it does this thing. When it low rolls, it doesn't do its thing. I don't know. This deck's kind of obnoxious, but I think I'll put it on the should not take tier, but in my heart, she's a can take tier. Okay, that's what we're gonna do with her. If you guys don't know what she does, she's just a restanding Vanguard with extra effects. But I think she's good. I kind of want to throw her here, but I think the other issue with her is getting all her stuff's kind of hard. But I don't know. This was tough. This was a toughie. Better than Chris Ray. Dang, Zan over here throwing facts. Throwing facts in the YouTube chat. Dang, swap them is crazy. Oh my god. How many Michu results are per DZ support versus Kyoka post DZ support? Oh, that's an interesting question. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, we can't count. Yeah, we can't count all of these down here. If we're talking about just DZ stuff, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then if we go back, realistically speaking, Kyoka should have like almost 0 results. Yeah, this one's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 versus 11, basically, if we don't count any of 2022 stuff. I will say old Kyoka was pretty dookie, and trust me, I played a lot, but it was just a little dookie. But yeah, there you go. That's the difference. It's 5 between 11. So Michu is actually performing a lot better. Now, we have to keep in mind that we are including like 15th place here for some of these. And same for Michu as well. You know, I personally don't value 8th through 16th as much, especially if we're doing team format, as much as I value like 1st through 4th, I would say. But I even like results wise, like 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 6th, 3rd. Oh, sorry, this is 2022. So 3rd, 1st, 5th, 12th. She's got a couple 11s and 12s here and 15s. But it's kind of tough, especially since it's like team format. But I personally think Michu's just better. Alas, you know, I'm just a person. Absolute Zero. Not quantity over quality. I agree. Quality is still, you know, should be higher. Like, quality is still quality. Because that's the thing about the difference between Michu and Kyoka. Michu has the better high roll. Kyoka has the better grind. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't think Zero's that bad, actually. I was thinking about maybe placing her on the maybe tier. But not a should take, but don't sleep on it. I definitely think this is a deck you should be testing. You should at least understand what this deck does, because it will curveball you. I think we're still gonna put it down here. I don't think you need to take it, but you should be cautious of its existence. Man, Leticia's still sorry, we were still discussing Leticia. I'll put her in here. I'll think about her as we have an overall wrap up of this at the end. Zero. She's so pretty. Coral, I think, is a don't take deck. I don't know, y'all. Some people are telling me otherwise. I don't agree. I think this deck's kind of, I think that kind of doo-doo. My Wi-Fi decided not to die. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we'll come back. We'll come back. All right. I don't believe in Coral. I think other people do. I don't believe in Coral. Vert. So Coral is hand-sized the deck. That's true. It is hand-sized the deck. So I think Vert has a shot, but I think it depends on the build. I'm gonna put her in the don't take tier. I'm gonna put these a little bit higher because I think they have some relative relevance. But the thing about this deck, you have to build it a certain way. But I don't know. I don't know. I have to think on this deck a little bit more. I'm putting in a no tier for now, but this is like a maybe in my heart. Rose, what if we gave Crest to Lyrical? It's like baby Crest though. But yeah, I don't know. Coral's weird. Less whatever her name is, Lucia, whatever. I think she is a pretty overall decent Lyrical deck with a hand size issue. Better than OG Prism? I don't think so. Yeah, that's fair. I think OG Prism's still better. So this deck is I think it's actually really strong. But oh no. That was my tier list. Okay, that was my tier list. We're good. That's all that matters. Anyway, OG Prism is better at attacking, but Vert makes hand like no tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. So this deck is actually pretty good, and I think people are gonna take it again for the same reasons of Doji. They might be fearful of Doji, so they might be on this deck. Just because 18k base goes crazy. This deck has a little bit of a hand issue though, because you're sucking in dudes into soul, and you know, you're kind of losing some hand here and there. Are you gonna be cutting this for a video later? I might have to leave soon. Yes, I will be cutting this into a video later, so you could definitely see this later. It'll probably be coming out sometime this week. Probably, I'm aiming for Wednesday. If I can get it all, edited today, it'll probably be tomorrow. So yes, you're allowed to leave it, come back and watch later. Also, since this is on YouTube as well, the VOD will just transfer over, so you should just have the VOD to watch as well. That's actually the reason why I wanted to stream on YouTube. It's just literally for the VODs. Your Brewster cried doing 7 attacks and nearly denting the hand. I watched that video as well, by the way. I was watching that because I wanted to see some more people playing this deck, because I've seen people at locals playing this deck, but I wanted to see even more. Personally, I think it's okay to take. I think the pressure of this deck is really good. Probably the best in terms of Vanguard pressure wise, in terms of like lyrical decks. Lyrical decks tend to not have a huge pressure aside from this deck. But the Vanguard pressure is pretty annoying on this deck. So yeah. I definitely recommend testing this and figuring out what it does and kind of knowing how to play into it. It definitely is scared of losing its rear guard, so that's definitely another thing you can kind of keep in mind as you're playing it. So think about it. Eugene, meh. Balsagra, Nirvana, eh? So, hi, welcome in, welcome in. No. Eugene gotta go. Eugene gotta stay down here. Sorry, Dragon Empire boy. Eugene gotta for now. I believe in this deck. I believe this deck can do something if it gets a better Vanguard. It needs a better Vanguard, guys. We all know it needs a better Vanguard. Buff Saga isn't too bad. It just kind of loses to deck out. That's how this deck does. It just dies randomly, and you're like, okay, cool. Nirvana kind of poo-poo. Dote isn't bad, but I don't think enough people are gonna be playing it. That new order goes kind of hard in this deck. But we're gonna put it down here anyway. Destin one of not sucking anymore, Eugene. That would be the perfect name. So I actually faced Dote on Saturday and I lost. Now I will tell you right now, I didn't have a single card in my hand that said, here's a trigger. I was holding every normal unit in my hand. So I just lost to raw variants. I got pushed to 5 pretty early because they went first, and then I couldn't recover because I never saw a trigger. All my drive checks, all my draws, it was a dead ass orders and normal units in hand, so I just died because of that. If I had one trigger in my hand, we were fine. We don't talk about Saturday, true, we don't talk about Saturday. TLDR, I lost to variants. I didn't really lose to the deck, if that makes sense. Also, the dice roll mattered. If I won the dice roll, it would have been a completely different game. He was having like a hand issue, surprisingly enough, and he had no cards in hand, like when he rode up to grade 3. Oh, sorry, when he Persona rode, he had no cards in hand. When basically his second grade 3 turn. If it was vice versa, or I went first, it would have been a completely different game. My waifu is dead now, so bye Bogu for now. But anyway, TLDR, this deck actually isn't that bad. The generic cards that they keep giving to like Dragon Empire are good. The issue is that there's like, I don't know, there's like something kind of missing. I don't know. I actually don't think this deck's bad. You could probably take it and probably perform pretty well. I'm gonna put it down here because I don't think many people are gonna be on it. But I wouldn't actually sleep on it that hard. Goodbye Java, goodbye Snake, Gravity, not Gravity, Gandiva. I want to put it in here, but I feel bad putting it in here. I don't think it's that bad, but I'm gonna put it in here anyway. Tamayura, sorry, bye Tamayura fans. Vermilion, sorry, bye Vermilion fans. Hollands, bye. Shiranui, definitely a contender. I don't even think we need to discuss this too much. It's like up here, probably. Look at all these Dragon Empire decks in the spotlight, guys. Look at this. Anyway, there are some, Tama is decent. It's just I don't think it's up here. I don't know. Every time I face Tamayura, I'm like, oh, is that all? Like, I don't know. That's just how I feel towards it. I think the deck's pretty though. Anyway, Shiranui is just, I don't know. I see some people just bring this deck down, and I know I've talked about this a lot. I just don't get it. I don't understand why the people put this deck down. It's really powerful. It's constantly annoying. Shiranui now, I don't think that high. I disagree. I think this deck is still like kind of the king. Like if I just enjoy Dragon Empire even for a smidge, I would probably be on this deck. But I just don't like Dragon Empire at all. Like I have zero fun playing Dragon Empire unless it's Eugene. Eugene is the only fun I'll have playing Dragon Empire. But if I purely like, I know it's kind of like we'll just take the good deck. I really want to, but I just have such a like vendetta about playing these decks. I'm having so little fun that I'm not even playing the game. Like I'm not even like, my mental state isn't even there. Like I'm putting cards on the board. I don't want to play like that. Like I don't want to play with that kind of mindset. If I'm gonna compete, but that's just my personal take. Like that's just how I am. That's how I feel about Nui. People just aren't playing it that much anymore because they have played it for so long. I think that's the other thing about Nui. I think people are just bored of playing it, which is very respectful. It's been the same deck this entire time with a couple changes here and there, but TLDR has been kind of the same deck. So you built it yesterday. Dang, that's crazy. I personally think this is still one of the best options. It just does its thing really well. It's good at what it does. It's just an annoying deck to face. Your opponent constantly has to like be thinking through what they have to do to fight this deck. I think the only time this deck starts falling off is if you are getting unlucky. If you're getting unlucky, like most Stride decks, you can kind of fall off. But the Stride decks can reward you because you have crests, and if you heal, you stay in the game the turn longer, which matters. I think that's it. But I think you 100%. I don't think this deck is bad. Like it doesn't have any bad matchups, to be honest. You can rush it down and get punished for it. You cannot rush it down and get punished for it. You can call a board, get punished for it. You cannot call a board, get punished for it. You get punished no matter what you do against this deck. You just have to hope that they don't heal. Like realistically speaking, hope they don't heal, and that is a terrible thing to fight into. That's so annoying. You can also just go autopilot into some matchups. Yes, you can just autopilot some matchups. That's the other thing. Like, and then also it's not a hard deck to play. Like if you compare Doji to this, in terms of just pure mechanics, this is the easier deck by a mile. Like you don't have to think that hard to play this deck. This deck, you can't make a single mistake. And that's something else to kind of keep in mind. If you're going to be playing for 7 to 9 rounds, which by the way, we are probably going to have 7 to 9 rounders here, probably a lot of them too. You have to keep that in the back of your mind. Do you want to play Doji for 9 rounds versus Nui? That'll be easier, but also maybe too easy is not good enough for you as well. Do you want to play a too easy deck for 9 rounds? At the end of the day, it's your decision. Personally, I don't like playing super mental gymnastic decks for that long, so I would probably pick Nui. But that's my personal take. Also keep in mind there's top 32 cut, top 16 cut, top 8 cut. Those also play into this. The tournaments should be slightly longer or more mentally draining than they were before. So keep that in mind when you're picking your decks. So just something to throw out there as we're kind of going through all this. It's another reason why Varga is not a bad pick. It's a pretty easy deck to play. You don't have to think super hard. Not that I'm saying you don't have to think at all. And every deck has something you have to think about. You still have to think about matchups and all that stuff, but there's some decks that are easier to play than others, obviously. So anyway, rant over. We're keeping Nui up there. Goodbye Dino deck. Goodbye Old Barrow Magnus. Bye Unravel. This is grade 4 Bruce. Goodbye Fennel. Goodbye. Not Fennel, sorry. Fefnil. I really want this Hades deck to be good, but it's just not. Jet, some people may agree or disagree with me. I think this is a contender. I don't think it's the best contender. I think it's a contender. This deck got the Festival Collection package upgrade and it made it a lot better. I don't think this is the best deck to take in terms of stride decks, but I do think it's a contender to take. I still think Nui is the better of the two. Obviously 5 attacks versus 4 attacks. That's the TLDR. Obviously Jet does have the guard restrict, but you can play around the guard restrict easier now than you could before. You can maybe get a top with this deck, so I think it's up here. Maybe gonna top this. You can get there. You can get there. This deck still does. I think the Festival Collection cards on top of the cards we just got are actually pretty decent in this deck. They actually do a lot of good stuff. Also the unrestriction kind of helps as well. So there's definitely room for this deck to perform. I just don't think it's like an instant like auto take. It's not the auto button like I have to take this deck. It's just like if you really like the deck and you've been playing it before and you used to top with it and now it's back, you could probably take it again and perform well. So Viance Bruce is definitely a no-no. It's basically worser Doji by like in every way. It has its insane multi-attack, but you have to do so many combo setups that's really hard. I think this deck wants to do what Doji's currently doing, is the way I like to see it. Because basically it's another deck that has a certain board state that needs to constantly be happening. You set up the certain board state, you set up your pieces, you go crazy with the numbers, you do some crazy stuff, but you have to keep resetting up that board state, and I feel like it's a little hard to keep that going, and Doji just has an easier time. Yeah, it kind of is, but this deck has a lot of numbers. It can attack like obnoxiously amount of times. Be careful of this deck. So you know, but I do think it's a little restrictive. You do also need the full Diablos edition on top of that. You know, this deck doesn't care what Stealth Fiends are on the board. It's just put rear guards into soul, you know, where this deck does care what rear guards are on the board. That's another thing to kind of keep in mind. So yeah, that's why I don't think this is a contender. But it's actually like the deck itself isn't bad for what it's doing. It just needs a better engine with what it's doing. That, or they just need a new Vanguard that can still do all the combos that it's currently doing. I don't know. I think the restriction on this deck is kind of a little hurtful. I think it hurts the deck. Astrea, the mask deck, goodbye. Sorry. She's okay. Don't get me wrong, deck's not bad. It can randomly deck out, which isn't very good, and it's randomly lose pressured as well. The numbers aren't that crazy, and going first is better. Even though you want to go second with the mask stuff, it's okay. Gotta go, okay, bye, till next time. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, she's okay. Chaos, I think, enters this. Oh, whoops, I put it in the wrong tier. This is the tier. Chaos, I think, is a pay-to-win deck. It's the gotcha of the format. You need to pay to win to play this deck to begin with, and then also it's just okay. This deck loses to the over trigger like nothing else. Thank you so much. It's my pink liner. I'm wearing the pink stuff today. But yeah, this deck has an insanely explosive turn, but if your opponent checks OT, you just lose the game on the spot. Like that's just how this deck is. It's just, there's nothing you can do about it. It did get more consistent with the new cards that we got, and the new cards aren't even new. They're just triggers that have 2 names on them. Makes the deck more consistent. So $300 on, yeah, you need to spend $300 on 3 triggers, and then you also need to buy the manga cycle, which is another $300. So you need $600 just to play this deck. Pay to optimize, not even pay to win. Yeah, it's so rough. I love this deck so much, but yeah, it's a little doo-doo. I think Greedon's definitely doo-doo. The Ama blah 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 deck a little doo-doo. Dredjeweled is not doo-doo. I think Dredjeweled is potentially a contender, but we are gonna put it I think it's here. I think if you've been playing Dredjewel this entire time, I actually think you have a shot of performing pretty well with this deck. You don't need a cycler. You don't need it, but having 2 names is so nice. I think Dredjewel is a little slept on. It's a can't take deck. The high, yes, exactly. The high roll of this deck is pretty nuts. Honestly. It's a weird deck. It's a weird deck. It's the person on the deck matters a lot, because this is actually a very hard deck to play. Even though it sounds so simple, the way you use your effects and what you do with them matters a lot. Kind of similar to Blackmire, by the way. Blackmire is also one of those decks where it seems simple, but there's actually a lot of complexity with how you play it. I think Dredjewel falls under this as well. So I just realized there's like random. Oh, is that his actual? It's Ignis. I wonder which Dredjewel this is. I'm assuming this is the grade 4 Dredjewel. But anyway. I think he's I think you can do well. I feel like people have been putting this deck down for quite a bit for some time, but even on NA sides, it actually was performing, even when people are considering it like super bad. There's a lot of room for this deck, I feel like. So we're gonna leave it up here. That's the grade 4. Okay, good, because I wouldn't know. Time stamping, driving, goodbye. Majesty Word Blaster is weird, but I think it's still a no. But I don't know. Maybe do we have? I don't even know if we have the new Blaster Blade. Do we have the Blaster Blade? I don't even think we have the Blaster Blade. If we have the Blaster Blade, maybe. I don't know. Phantom Blaster. Keep in mind we got the new grade 2 for Phantom Blaster. That card's pretty okay. I don't think it makes the deck that much more powerful for Phantom Blaster, so we're gonna put it there. Majesty Word we'll put down here. Grab Gaze, goodbye. Minerva. We don't have the new Blaster Blade. Since we don't have the new Blaster Blade, meh. Minerva's kind of weird. I don't think this deck's that bad, but I'm gonna leave it in the don't take tier. But I actually think you could perform well with her. She actually got to do a support card too. Like, funnily enough, I think Hexalorb is kind of high rolly and just kind of meh. Silverillion I've seen kind of do decent, but we're gonna put in the meh tier. Thagrid can join as well. Ezel, I think his new support just isn't doing enough. Bastion, kind of the same thing. Old Alden. Old Alden is hard, guys. I don't know about Old Alden. Holy crap, we have so many should not take card decks. This one's tough. I feel like if I'm gonna put this one in, I have to put this one in. That's tough. Alright, I'll leave it in the not tier. Fuzzy says nah. Well, we'll leave it in a not. Alright, Youthberg is a maybe, but I'm gonna put it down there. I think Luard's a maybe as well. I think Luard's a Ken. I think Luard's a Ken. Well, the collabs have 25 decks, each adds up fast. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. We'll come in, by the way. We do have a lot of random crap in here. Luard, I think, is a maybe. What does Fuzzy know? Fuzzy tests. Fuzzy's a tester. Luard, yeah, Luard with new support with the new lion. Apparently, specifically, it's not a dog, guys. It's a lion. New lion's pretty good. I think this deck actually isn't that bad. Like, I think it has a shot, kind of similar to Jet, where it's got potential. So we'll keep him in here. We'll keep the boy in here. Leohan is a nah, just needs more cards. What the heck is this? Nah. Prison is definitely a nah. I was coping. I coped so hard. Welcome in, Ryu. I was coping so hard on this. I'm not even gonna lie. Until I realized just that the stars just do not align. Heroes is pretty decent, but I don't think it's a contender. But it's not a terrible deck. It has a little bit of a hand issue. Alien Boy, sorry. I love my Monster Boy, but Bat goes hard, but Bat gotta stay there. We're gonna move up Messiah here. Messiah is kind of on the level of Jet, maybe better. Probably up here somewhere. Messiah is very powerful. Messiah does have one singular issue. Sorry, I know I had to put Bat. I had to put Bat down there. Sorry, he has to go down there. He has a weird gimmick, as always work, even though I love the deck. The Messiah, I think, is actually one of the better stride decks. It does have one problem, and I think this problem is big. And I would actually, if this problem wasn't around, I would consider this deck a lot higher. Regimented. I'm sorry. So anyway. So I'm no longer friends with Philip, you know, even after I called him handsome on my shorts, and you know that video did pretty well. But I guess the calling you handsome just isn't enough, you know. It's just not enough. Except tall man peering over a wall near you. Yes, it is the shoujo matchup. Nothing like tilting your opponent by drawing 3 going second. Dude, the Messiah is so funny. People get so bad over the draw 3. It is the funniest thing. Yes, so the shoujo matchup is, I think, the reason why this deck's a little bit lower than I think I would have ranked it without shoujo in mind, but it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. This deck is a very high roll strong deck. If you high roll, this deck's insane. If you low roll, this deck really struggles. Now, when you draw 5, it's great. Nui does it all the time. Yeah, Nui does do it all the time. That's the funny part. But yeah, Messiah is really good. The high roll, like I said, the high roll outweighs. Who doubts pie chart, man? Fuzzy has his hands on the data more than anywhere. True. Welcome in. Hello, YouTube people. Welcome in. But yeah, Messiah is really powerful. Do not sleep on this deck. This deck will high roll you, and you will cry about it. So just be very cautious of this deck. I will say when it low rolls, it doesn't do much, but even when it low rolls, it's still a stride deck. So be mindful. They have a huge hand. They lock your dudes. But the only downside is if you lock Shoujo Joji's dudes, that's usually not a good thing, because then they get them in the bind and then they can reset up their dudes. And they'll probably even play into your lock. So be cautious of that. Either just don't lock at all, or lock dude that they don't care about or won't help them. So I will say Doji is kind of pushing this deck down a little bit, but it's mainly just Doji. Otherwise, this deck is just a high roll deck. You high roll, you win the game. You low roll, you struggle. That's just the deck. But be very mindful. This is I think this deck's really powerful. I want to put it here. I think this is I would even say it's probably a contender. This deck's like a should contender. I think this deck's really strong. But I've also been on this deck for a while. I've been practicing Zorga and realized why you like it so much. Oh, I'm glad. It's a very fun deck. I love Zorga. Zorga's so fun. It's such a beauty. Such a fun to play deck. Vanguard, goodbye. Ava's probably a maybe. Face down cards have no info. Face down bound cards have no. Can someone tell me if black blind shoujo stuff can they still use, or because they are face down they cannot? Since they are face down they cannot. Basically what chat just told you. Where did I do with I lost my deck. There she is. Yes, face down cards don't play into that. It's like that's another reason why you gotta be careful. It's like if you banish the cards of desires, can't touch them. I'm gonna sip on some water. Give me a sec here. All right, that was fun. This is not Yukio Dan is crazy. But yeah, TLDR, face down cards. That's the reason why Blackmire has its cool stuff. Face down cards have a whole other realm of stuff that you need to be cautious of. But anyway, I think Ava's pretty good, and you could definitely take her. I think she's kind of up here with all the other brain gate decks. I actually think this deck's pretty strong. And she has some of the best late game grinds out of most of the decks that we talked about. Her late game grind's pretty insane. It's probably on par with like Messiah's late game grind. She just doesn't die. And at the end of the day, when you get to those last couple, cards, they're all triggers. So this deck gets very scary late game. It also is very consistent. So, it's definitely a deck to fear. I will say this is a grind deck. So again, for time reasons, that might be a little scary to take her because you will definitely be on going into time at most of the time with this deck. The worst Messiah games I've had is I don't see the arrestor, but I'm not brave enough to run draws. Dude like Cows does and gets them to, yeah. I think I run fronts in my Messiah deck. I think I run fronts. I don't remember exactly. I think I'm running fronts. I don't remember. I'm running something. Draws are a little scary in Messiah. You can easily deck out. This is coming from someone who was running yellow T in here like a dummy. Just because I wanted to try it. I thought it was funny. Silhouette is a nah, but this deck is not a sleeper deck. Don't sleep on Silhouette. It's actually pretty decent. Don't sleep on it, but it's not that crazy. I really like it. Looks like I'll have 2 decks to bring to BCS. Oh yeah, you have a lot of options actually. These are all very good contenders. There's actually a couple contenders even in this slot. They're just a little bit a little bit weaker. Orphis I think is a nah, but I'll probably see one person on it. Gravidia is 100% a please don't bring this deck. God, don't do this to yourself. I don't even care about the double OT power. Just don't do this to yourself. Don't like get excited about this deck and then just lose. Just don't do it. Don't be like me. I keep taking this deck thinking I have a chance, and then I just get my ass handed to me. Oh god. Please don't. Flagberg as well. I forgot they made a mask graffiti. They did, unfortunately. Unfortunately, they did that to us. They hurt my feelings. Flagberg really needs new support. Support that is actually doing something. The current support is all the same. It's all if something restood game 5k, it revived this to get power to that. It's just, we need something more. We need more with this deck. It's just not there. I think Magnolia is a contender. Some people may agree, may disagree. I actually think this deck has a shot, especially if it's a going second type of approach. They did ruin a perfectly good deck. They really did do that for Gravidia. But yeah, but Magnolia is actually not that bad. Don't sleep on this. Definitely test to figure it out. Draws a lot, has multi-attack. It's actually kind of a little bit of a sleeper pick, but yeah, be mindful of this deck. It's weirdly enough, grade 4 decks aren't that bad. Notice we have a couple grade 4 decks in this slot, and we'll probably have a couple more. Hostage Mag goes crazy. Yes, Hostage goes wild. Yes, Hostage Mag is pretty good. Yeah, don't sleep on this. It's actually pretty. It's kind of cooking. It'd be kind of cooking. Cards may cost too much when they come out though. Yeah, there is something to keep in mind for the set 4 stuff. If you're playing Duluth, keep in mind you have exactly 1 week to get everything. So work fast or find someone that's willing to just give you cards or start opening boxes like a crazy banana. Like you're gonna need to figure something out. Because yes, it's this deck, I don't remember what else that needs set 4 cards. This deck, there's a couple kind of this deck. There's a couple strays in here. This deck I think also needs some new stuff. About the cards that are already out. Nice, good. But keep in mind, we're gonna be in a weird meta where some people might not even have set 4. So always for the Duluth one. By the time we get to the other later ones, we will have no time. Keep in mind something to note: BCS changed its ruling for illegal decks. So it's a 1 week rule now. After the set's been out for a week, it is viable for BCS. In the past, it was 2 weeks. So just keep that in mind. I just pressed that with my camera, but keep that in mind. Something to fear. Maelstrom, goodbye. Garfia, goodbye. Claudine, I want to put it higher, but goodbye. Roroa, goodbye. I hate the fact that I have to put this so low, but goodbye. Magnolia is probably decent. I think Elder beats it out though, so we're gonna put her down here. Leonorn definitely needs to go a little bit higher. I've been trying to cook a video for a while. The DC stuff is fun, but it's not something I take to BCS. Correct. Leonorn, I don't want to put it up here, but I know people are going to be playing it. I think she's here, but so many people for some reason just really take this deck very seriously, and they see it as here. I see the reason why, don't get me wrong. I just, it's something about like anytime I face it, I just don't really fear it. Like when I see some of these decks up here, you know, I'm a little sweaty. When I see this deck, I don't feel as scared. But I'm just gonna leave it to the rest of the people, because you know, people definitely people it's been performing and people definitely see it as a good deck, so I'm gonna keep it up here. Kind of leave it at that. Its pop off on the Viance is pretty insane. I'm kind of weird about it. I'm weird about it, but I'll leave it up there. We'll probably put it like this. Mushi King, it just got a result, funnily enough. I don't think this deck's that great, but alas. It's very scary. It is a very scary deck, but it kind of has a couple weaknesses. We'll leave it there. Kyrie, I think, is a can-take deck. It kind of auto-loses to Nui. I know there was like that one recent stream that had Kyrie kind of perform decent, but the Kyrie player also got lucky and they healed out a lethal. I don't know, man. So Kyrie is really good. Actually, one of the better lyrical decks, I think. It has a really good going second turn if you need to go second. It's one of those decks where if you're fearful of losing the dice roll, it's a great deck to lose the dice roll on. Again, another grade 4 deck. Most people want to go first, especially divine decks. Most of these decks up here want to go first, actually. I think every deck here actually wants to go first. So if you accept this deck, obviously, because it's a stride deck. But and decks like this. But because most decks want to go first, you can take this deck going second and not care about the dice roll a day and just win off of going second. It's pretty good in that aspect. The new mermaid stuff that's going to come out for the lyrical support makes this deck a lot better. So this is another thing to kind of keep in mind. I think this deck has a lot of potential. I just think Nui is a very hard matchup for her, and I think that's a problem. Her matchup into Doji is actually not bad. I don't know about this deck because this is a very strong going first deck. Blackmire can't really touch anything on her board usually. Varga is kind of a I actually have no issues into Varga under Kairi, so Razia is kind of a 50-50. Leonore, and I think Kairi wins it out, and Michu, it's kind of hard because yeah, you're giving them first and they're just way stronger going first. I think you have to go first into a deck like this. Kind of similar to Ava, you just have to take first. You'd be surprised, but sometimes in decks like Ava or Michu, the decks that want to have their like abilities to activate, you actually want to take first regardless of what your deck does, because they don't get persona, and that's very important. So something kind of keep in mind. Something I've noticed while testing into decks like these that have the grade 1 to rewrite into a new grade 3. Basically the glitter decks, the glitter decks that have these effects on them. But yeah, Kairi is good. I don't like the Nui matchup. I think it's very hard for Kairi. I think Nui just scales better late game. You don't have like insane pressure as a Kairi player. You just keep bouncing and calling and bouncing and calling and bouncing and calling. But that's all you're doing. Your numbers never go up, and Nui's late game numbers go up. Same with Blackmire's numbers, they go up, and I think that's where this deck starts falling off. But that's my personal opinion. If they draw better than you, like if they draw faster, you can kind of lose tempo. If you start bricking, you can lose tempo. There's just small little things, but the ride line has made this deck a lot stronger. The new ride line that we're getting in the new lyrical set. So, but that's just one matchup. I still think outside of that, it performs really well. It does. You also need to not brick. I will say personally, my experience on this deck has been, if I don't see Nui, this deck I do really well. If I do see Nui, I do really bad. So take that as you will. So if you think you're gonna see a lot of Nui players, maybe don't take this deck. If you think you're not gonna see, if you're gonna dodge Nui players, take this deck. I think that's kind of where it sits with this one. I don't think she has any other matchups that are that brutal. I do think Blackmire is a little awkward with the new stuff. Those numbers get insane, and you only have so many PGs in your deck. So, but yeah. I think that's all I have. This is Old Michu. I think Elsteel is here. Kakarot is here. Ballista is here. LT Rosa is here. Herminia is here. Fortia, sorry Fortia. Fennel, sorry Fennel. Charmel probably has some reason to be higher, but I'm not sure. This one's tough. Not more Tortilla. I know Tortilla be struggling though. Tortilla be struggling. She needs some help. I'm kind of iffy about Charmel. Fennel Gaming though. I love Fennel to death, but I know her weaknesses, and I just I don't know. You have to go first with this deck. There's too many decks that want to go first now. I think she was the best in Stride meta. I think she's fallen off since Stride meta. We'll put Charmel here. I think she's a viable option. I agree. I think you have a shot with her. Her numbers get kind of crazy. Sienna, even with this new support, is actually really rough. I don't recommend it. Pacifica with new support is a little rough. Labrador maybe has a shot. I'm gonna put her up here for now, but I might change my opinion towards her. She got a little bit of help with some of the new stuff. I just don't know if it's enough for her. The Michaka, if you really know, I think has a chance too. Training tool, same thing. I think if you know, if you've been playing the deck and you know what it does, I think you have a chance, especially since some people won't know what you're doing. Yeah, Orphis is somewhere in the dumps. He needs a new world order. Mygo is definitely not a sleeper deck. I'm gonna talk about all these decks at once. I just want to get them off of the bottom. Yatsuba we're probably gonna put up here. Apparently it has a shot, but I don't know if it's enough. But let's go over these four real quick. So Labrador, I think has a chance. If you've been playing the deck, I think there's some room. I don't think it's great, but it's not terrible. And actually, I think I'm gonna keep her down here. I think out of all the lyrical options you have, I think this is one of the worst ones. And she's still good. I just think these options up here are just a little bit better for your discretion. I think that's just how it is. I will say, because she clears her board all the time into decks like this and this, I think she has a better time, but that's about it. Mygo, I definitely think sorry, let's go to, I don't know these decks as well, but I have been seeing them perform well, and there are some arguments that these decks are bad, and I just don't think enough people play them on the English side. I think that's the biggest problem. And we probably won't see much results with these, but they're okay. Mygo, I think, is actually very powerful. I'm trying to keep my biased opinions out of this because I've been doing relatively decent with this deck. This deck actually is very powerful. It is slowly falling off as we get new sets. So it's starting to get worse and worse because there's obviously no new support for this deck. It really needs new support. Honestly, if it had any of the support, some of the generic stuff is happening over the nation side, this deck would probably be on the top tier again. But I will say don't sleep on it and be cautious. This deck going first is very scary. It can do a lot in the little package that it has. So just be mindful of it. I'm gonna put it a little bit higher. I think it's up kind of up here somewhere. This deck here somewhere. I don't know, these are all kind of in the same realm of amounts there. I think these are the only two that I think are kind of like hitting the line. Sends band members to, is it bad when shoujo sends band members from buy? No, it's not. You're like, oh, okay, cool. They can snipe some of your dudes though, which can be a problem. It depends on what they're sniping or what they're bottom decking or what they're getting to drop, because you don't get your cards back. There's no recursion in my go. There's recursion, there's board recursion, there's no drop recursion, right? So something kind of keep in mind. But yeah, this deck does have a terrible matchup into Doji actually. As long as you don't brick. If you brick, then you're screwed under no matter what's going on. Because this deck, when it bricks, has a hard time recovering. Whereas other decks can recover better. It just doesn't. If you don't find the pink-haired girl, which is a non, you're just screwed. TLDR. If you don't find pink-haired girl, you're in trouble. Find pink-haired girl. If you find pink-haired girl, the deck will just do its thing. But if you don't find her, the deck really struggles. Like it's bad. It's like really bad. So definitely. We are getting that promo eventually, the grade 2 promo that says top 5, grab a dude. And that will help this deck a little bit, but it's only like a 1-of, so it's not like a huge difference. Twin cast also helps this deck a little bit, but not enough to like put it up here. So, but Greedon's down here somewhere. Sorry, the new Greedon might not be so bad with the new stuff, but current Greedon is a little bit. What was your opinion on Lyle? I put Lyle down here somewhere. She was part of the don't take the BCS, but I think my opinion was kind of neutral. She has a chance, but nothing too crazy. That's it. That is everything. Let's go over it real quick. So I'm deeming these being some of the strongest options to take. I'm trying to see if anything down here can move up a slot. I think maybe like this. I think Messiah is actually pretty. Maybe even like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 really strong decks. I don't know. Maybe Kyrie could be lower tier. I don't know. This kind of makes sense to be top like to we have. It's kind of weird putting it like this. But there's just all these decks have something they kind of do pretty well. This has a really insane late game ceiling. Like this is just, you know, the deck everyone's like kind of fearful of. This deck's just overall good. This deck has insanely good for going first. This deck just has insane grind between mid to late game. This is just turn off brain deck. This is Caterpillar goes crazy. Leonore just has a really good stabilizing mid to late game. Michu just has an insanely strong early game and kind of starts losing it or like as the game goes later. Messiah has an insanely big high roll. Kyrie is just kind of consistent all around. Yoka's consistent all around. Velsha just has insane good pop off and now with Revive got stronger. This deck has a good defensive options. This deck has good defensive and offensive options. Both of these do. This deck has good defensive offensive options. This is kind of in between. This has really good grind late game, really good grind mid to late game. Actually, no, this is just pop off as well. This is pop off. This is just defense with some aggression. This is the toolbox ish with aggro deck. Aggressive. This is aggressive as hell. Aggressive as hell. Good mid to late game with early rush as well. Insanely good grade 4 turn. Insanely good grade 4 turn on top of farming. I don't know enough about these to talk about them, but I do know that they've been performing well. So yeah, everything down here probably has, there's some probably some decks in here that have some chances, but I think the collab decks are kind of out and ult support is definitely out. And you guys can tell me how you feel about Yatsuba, or I don't think this deck is real, but there was actually, I think, a top recently, and I watched the video for the stream, and I think they were like misplaying the deck or something. And I don't know what happened, but the game just like randomly ends. I think I have the, I was originally going to put it on YouTube because I actually watched the video and then I decided not to. I always have trouble finding the actual stream, so give me a sec. I'm going to use Chris here. Christopher. For the Yatsuba stuff, 1 sec. I need to find the original video. So it's this video with the champion, and then it was the full VOD of this, and then you go the Yatsuba footage. It was really weird to see. I was like, what is going on? But basically they like just randomly, the guy was like putting his orders into the deck, or he was using his orders as part of the number count for the quintuplets, and that's sort of where things went downhill. Oh, this is Vice. I don't know where it was. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So they're playing it out, and then here's where the judges got called. And I don't know what happened, but basically what they did was they took one of the order cards, it was just like the grade 3 right here, and they basically took it away, and then he like lost off of it. It was really weird. But yeah, I think what happened was, so notice that this order card got moved. He was putting it in the zone here, counting it for the number, and I don't think he was allowed to do that. And then I don't know what happened. I think he just got like a game loss, because they basically stopped the game here, and then you can actually see that they just ended it. And I was like, oh, the way they thought memory worked. Interesting. Yeah, there was some weird stuff going on with that. I actually like watched the entire thing, recorded the footage and everything, and then the ending happened, and I was like, what do I do with this? I can't take this. I can't take this footage and make a YouTube video out of it, so I just cut it out basically. I still have it in my backlog of random videos that I just never uploaded. But yeah, it was kind of a weird one. But that's basically the tier list. I think this is a relatively good representation. And again, like, there might be some decks down here. Maybe there's some kind of cooking that there might be happening. There's so many ride lines now. You know, you can't test every single ride line on the planet. Like, it's just impossible to purely test everything and maximize it and all that kind of stuff, fun stuff. So, you know, just go with your gut feeling what you want to take. If you really want to take something that you think is going to do well, take it. Like, it's perfectly normal. But I think overall, this is a good generic look on sort of what we're looking for in set 4, set 3, set 4. BCS going between now until the end of set 4 basically. And I think this is a good overall snapshot of like decks to consider. I will say I think it's really hard to pick a deck to take right now. Like, my opinion, I'm struggling. The only deck I don't care about on this list, or the only 2 decks I don't care about on this list, is these 2, because I don't find them fun to play. But everything else is like a contender in my eyes, like for up here. Like, if I were to pick a deck, I would be picking between one of these, like up here, guaranteed. Even some of the ones down here are like an option. Like, I don't know, like it's so hard. It's so hard to decide what deck to take. So I guess they pick something that you know you can handle a lot of rounds on. If you're not like in Europe, but Europe has a little bit less rounds. And then just go with what you think is going to well. Think about the dice roll. Think about the time you'll be putting into per round. If you think you're spending too much time on the deck, maybe don't take it. I think that's like the most important part. Take a deck you're comfortable on, take a deck that won't go into time, and take a deck that can at least fight these top 3 pretty decently well. I do think these decks are probably the powerhouses. This one may be a little bit lower, or it's kind of more on par with the rest of these, because this one's also like a really strong deck, but I think these 2 are the powerhouses. It's time for you to reach the top with Messiah once more. Hey, I ain't gonna lie with you, like, my top 3 options right now is like Blagmire. It was Doji, but I don't think I can handle Doji mentally for that long. But for me, it's literally Blagmire, Messiah, and Kyrie. Those are like the top 3 decks that I'm thinking about taking to BCS. Michu is also an option. I just don't know if I want to take the chance of like not finding the grade 1. This one also has that problem, but she draws more. So we'll have to see. I ran Brazing Angel Ladder because of Nui. Yeah, you should be running Ladder probably anyway, because Ladder also is good into Doji. And especially if you're playing Doji, you should probably be running Ladder as well because of the mirror. So just something to keep in mind. Ladder, I think, is going to be actually pretty powerful. The Ladder also goes around Blackmire a little bit, and it goes around Messiah. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. I'm about to have the God run with Varga. Probably are. Varga go burr, you know? Varga does go burr. But yeah, I think just all these decks are really good. I think Ladder, the Ladder, we're gonna see the Ladder be played a lot. I think you kind of need to play it. like you don't want to face this and not have Ladder. You don't want to face this and not have Ladder. You don't want to face this and not have Ladder. You don't want to face this and not have Ladder. Especially Zorka's matchup against Doji is bad. It's not bad, it's just rough. If they bottom deck the orders, it's a little bit hard. If they just put him in the drop, it's not the end of the world, but you do lose the power pressure. You are like losing basically potentially 5 to 20k worth of power that you could have had, which does matter, by the way, which is the reason why I think Zorka is not the best contender anymore. And it just depends on what they open. I think that's the reason why Doji's performing so well. It like randomly shuts off some decks, and you know that's important to keep in mind as you're picking a deck. That's actually, if you notice, at least from my picks or what I consider picking, none of these decks really care about Doji. This deck does not care about Doji. This deck does care a little bit, but it's not insane. This deck doesn't care about Doji. That's why I consider these like really good picks. If you're not playing these two, basically, these two or this one. But anyway. That's that. That was a lot of talking, a lot of me rambling. Hope it was informative in some way, shape, or form. I think it's gonna be really fun. It's BCS season. At least I don't know how set 5 is gonna be looking, but at least up to end of set 4, I think we're looking to see a very interesting BCS. Keep in mind, BCS is way longer this time, so a lot more time to consider decks and a lot more time to switch decks because it's going for basically 6 months instead of the normal 4 or 3 that it goes for. So yeah, whew, that was a lot of talking. I need like a mental break for a second. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh, welcome in, Gnarly Kitty. Yeah, I just had to stream today. I was gonna talk about Michu, and then I just randomly went on a completely different rant, and I even took Curly's tier list and did that. By the way, shout outs to Curly for doing this entire tier list. It's very visually pleasing because it's got every name of every deck on here, and you don't have to go, oh, which deck is that? So big shout outs to Curly. You should go follow him on the Twitters. Right now it says I'm not. I'm already following him. Anyway, so yeah, go follow Curly for being so awesome and having the, just creating these. He, by the way, if you're ever curious, let me just download this before I forget. I have so much random stuff on here, just ignore it all. Whoopsie, I didn't mean to close that out. But anyway, he does more than just that. I can't wait to attend my first BCS. Aw, here's your first one. You'll be fine. You got this. Keep in mind, he has more. BTO 1, BTO 2, names, starters, and he updates them too. Extra stuff. There's just so many tier lists that he's been doing for like the more recent stuff. So you guys can, mess around, try out the starters tier list if you want. If you want to see what your favorite starter is, all that kind of fun stuff. So, he is the GOAT. Yes, he'd be going around. He's making some really cool content recently. I think I kind of like admitted to this kind of recently. I don't watch Vanguard content that often. And part of the reason is like I already do Vanguard content. It kind of saturates me a little bit. So sometimes I tend to kind of step away from watching Vanguard content. And sometimes I'll watch stuff that's different. And Curly kind of hits that different spot for me, the different itch. Because he'll sometimes do content of like history of Vanguard. And it's like, I don't know any history about Vanguard, so it's fun to watch. So and stuff like that. But yeah, give us some love. Anyway, I think that ends this tier list. So yeah, as the Fuzzy said, like, subscribe, and comment for all the good stuff and all that funzy. I hope Barrow gets support one day so Curly can shine. Yeah, Barrow already has support. He just got a whole new Vanguard. It's still not enough. It's still not doing enough. This is that part. The starter ranking ones are cool. Yeah, Curly does a lot of random stuff, and he's got some very interesting content overall. I like it. I like his content. Like I can't watch news content. Sometimes I watch like mainly videos of people playing decks, but it's mainly because my boyfriend drags me to watch those. And not just this game, other games too, like Shadowverse as well. But anyway, I think that's good. I think we did good here. So we'll wrap that up there. Goodbye tier list content. Hello, welcome back. I think that was a good overall little baby stream we did there. I really wanted to just stream a little bit, and I think that's what we accomplished there. But we had a lot of hype here earlier in the chat. Hopefully I want to bring back my Monday streams, but I just don't know how. My life has been a little hectic, and I've been kind of focusing on my health more. So but yeah. I think we're gonna call it a day for today. I do want to take all this and kind of put it into a video. I also didn't spend that much time with Michu, and I just don't want to make like a personal. I know he's so adorable. I love it so much. Like actually, I have a more zoomy. Yeah. So it's really fun. It's a little hard to apply because of the way it's made. Like this company, you have to kind of like do multiple layers, and it's kind of easy to mess up. But I do really like it. But yeah. Thank you for liking the highlighter. Anyway, I'm gonna go probably and go edit some more because I do have some stuff I want to get out for you guys for this week. So I'm gonna go focus on that. That's usually what I do on my Sundays, but Monday is my Sunday today. So yeah. But my guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. I'm gonna try and bring back maybe Mondays. Maybe Mondays will be my day. I'm trying to bring back a day where I could stream. But I've been focusing on my health. I've been playing tennis a lot and kind of just doing random stuff after my work hours. But I want to try and bring this back. I either want to do a super early stream, like early in the morning, or do a super late at night stream. I don't know where to toss in time for streaming, but I'm trying. I want to bring it back. I want to bring back my normal streaming content because I think we have a good time usually on here, and we usually goof around. Today was not as much of a goof day. Have a great day. Thank you. You guys as well. Let's go find a raider for the Twitch side. Let's go find a homie to raid. And for the YouTube side, thank you guys for sticking around. For those who are watching, I have, by the way, I've had the YouTube side on this entire time. I've been mainly reading it, not responding maybe as easily, but I have been reading the chat over on the YouTube side. So thank you guys for stopping in on that side as well. So much appreciated. Well, let's go hit up, and thank you for just joining in. I really appreciate you guys coming in. We're gonna go find someone to raid. So who are we raiding is the question. My favorite horror YouTuber is currently doing like a stream right now, but I'm probably not gonna raid him because that is horror. So let me go find someone. Let me go see if there's anyone on Twitch right now that's on the Vanguard side that is streaming. We'll find out. Hard fight Vanguard. Okay, I'm streaming. There's a person named Felix that's streaming. Apparently his is an 18 plus. It's a September. Oh, it is September. I didn't even realize that. Let me listen to this real quick.
Yeah, I'm looking at every game coming out.
We're doing a vibe
September and March, and I'm like, I
was doing a vibe check. Sorry, my bad, y'all. I mean, the vibe check wasn't bad. They seem like they're a little new. Hopefully they're not too, you know, it says they're 18 plus, so hopefully they're not too mean or any, I don't know, hopefully they're not too horny. But we'll go hit them up since they're new, and I like pushing new people. So let's go raid this person. They're a little random, but we'll go raid them. I forgot how to raid on Twitch. Holy crap. Okay, I found them. All right, I'm gonna start the raid. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming by. Much appreciated. We can go find my thing again. Anyway, thank you so much for coming by. All that kind of fun stuff. Thank you so much. Sorry I didn't get a chance to talk about Shadowverse as much, but hopefully the Deer Day stuff and the tier list stuff was enough to kind of, you know, think about some stuff. And thank you so much for supporting and being on here, even though I haven't streamed in like forever. I appreciate everyone coming in. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you so much. But yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go edit and probably get some dinner in like 2-ish hours, so I'm gonna go edit and do that. You guys have a blessed week, and stay awesome, stay cool, get excited for those Harry reveals, and hopefully Deer Days becomes better. Boy, I know I do need 3 hours Shadowverse stream is crazy. That's crazy talk, but boy guys, thank you.